Home ain't ever what you wanted it to be. So you packed your things and you left. Took a train, left somewhere out west, and you found what looks like hope. You take that little bit of change you got in your pocket and you build a ranch, maybe a nice little family. But unfortunately, there's never hope. Welcome to Crystal Grit. Mind your pistols now.
Hello, everybody. We are back on a Wednesday, we being Hard Knock Dice, with our Wednesday thing being Whispers in the Dust, which is this campaign, which is Western in nature. I had to go double check what our background looked like to make sure, like behind the frames, not like our backgrounds, obviously. I can see those a little easier. But anyway, we're back after a couple weeks off. I hope y'all had a good one. I hope everybody around me feels nice and rejuvenated. I'm Cowboy God, or the DM. These folks being the players, the less important roles, as it were. But this is episode 11, so we'll be getting back on that real quick. With, of course, before we do though, there will be a link popping up to our side here at the press of a button. Hell yeah. It's so cool. That is Extra Life charity for the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. So you want to do that, helps sick kids out. Open your heart wallets, do the lawful kind thing. Don't chew on cables like my cat is doing right this very moment. And donate to a good cause. It is a heroic and good thing to do. Not the chewing on cables, the donating to charity. For clarification.
Or chew on cables. We won't judge you.
I will. I'll judge you. Keep it a secret if you want. I will judge you. But anyway, aside from that, anything worth announcing, folks, on my Skype screen? No, yes, no, maybe. Cool. Reflective glasses say no. He lived. Surprise, surprise. Anyway. I'm going to say last session, but I'm going to give a little bit of a broader recap since we've been on for a couple weeks. Our heroes, asterisk, find themselves here on the continent of Eucryptia, the western frontier of this world, and are on, I was going to say they're on an adventure, they're on a mission, sent by the mayor / gang leader known as Desmond Sinclair, to retrieve his stolen goods that were a hodgepodge of just gemstones and things that were mined here, but also some of them being magical. One in very particular that he wanted back specifically, as well as to bring back the leader of the band who had robbed him. They set off, encountering very little, actually, which is shocking, aside from a single earth elemental, which they fucked up with a swiftness, before arriving in Picton, along with some nightmares that they had begun to have, waking dreams, visions of an ancient time in the point of view of an ancient creature performing acts of slaughter. Arriving in Picton to find a town just about under siege of whatever had attacked the band of thieves on the road to arriving here. They then proceeded to fuck them up. Is going to be the short and sweet of it. They killed a couple dudes who had kidnapped Clyde's wife. They then killed a lot of other dudes who were, I guess, they were accomplices to kidnapping Clyde's wife in his point of view. But ultimately secured her, the gems, the leader, and they even ran across Sarabelle's good close friend and seeming love, Genevieve, the Herringon. They've since left Picton, planning to return to Crystal Grit to return these stolen goods to Desmond Sinclair, and have had their first night, or have begun their first night of dreamless slumber. And when I say dreamless, I don't mean just lacking in the nightmare visions or waking nightmares for some of you that do not sleep. They all have experienced previously. There is blackness. Now, that is what you will be doing when you sleep. But I believe I was asked a couple weeks ago, after we finished session, that there was some stuff that some folks may have wanted to do on their watches that night. And maybe you've forgotten between now and then, but I wanted to open the floor to that possibility if any of those desires still remained.
I believe I was one of those individuals, and I am bringing up my notes now. Hopefully I wrote it the fuck down.
Sick. Notes are good. Take them if you play D&D. I take them in general, actually. They're good. If you forget things easy, take notes of stuff.
On the subway, take notes.
In the bathroom. Click, jot it down.
Anywhere. Anywhere you may experience a thought. Take notes.
Both kinds.
I did not specify
I don't know if that's the
on purpose.
best time and place to take notes.
Called
Everywhere's the best
multitasking,
time to take a
Cody.
note.
Multitasking.
Goodness gracious.
It's a skill.
While
Yes,
Cody's looking up his notes, I was realized that during my watch, I'd like to cast Detect Magic on that gem that I pocketed to sort of, because the way you described it was it has a whole bunch of different facets and stuff, and I know it's magical, but like how magical?
Let's see. I will go ahead and say incredibly.
Okay.
You cast Detect Magic. I mean, there are some other magical things here within this camp. I mean, you and your companions all have some minor magical items, and I believe some have been created by Sarabelle. This one blazes, depending on however Callie perceives magic in her Detect Magic. If it is visual, if it is audible, however it is either glaringly bright or blaringly loud.
Okay. Yeah.
I know you get schools of magic out of that. This is a mixture of good gracious, I about called it the wrong thing. Good transmutation. I was about to say transfiguration. I'm like, that ain't Dungeons and Dragons. Transmutation, evocation, and to a smaller degree, both necromancy and abjuration.
Okay. And awesome. Okay. So then, just for fun narrative effect, Callie sees magic in terms of like colors and stuff. So like, her when she's doing her detect magic or not detect, the what's the word I'm looking for? My words are hard. Divine sense, like it's like a white wisp that like she can track and stuff. This when she detects magic, it like turns into colors, and so it's I guess this is just a giant beacon. It's just a bright beacon of light. She's like, oh shit.
I'd say of the times that that you have detected magic, I mean, you come from a magical household and upbringing. That this is like you're fairly familiar. This is probably one of the more powerful like magical items you've probably seen.
Okay.
Like in casual use, you would figure like you'd probably run across something along these lines, either like locked up in like your father's vaults of like personal magical wealth, or like in museums, or used as like something that is used by the consortium to teach.
Got it. Cool. So I'm just sitting on my horse, like looking at this scary magic gem. Cool.
Sure. Okay.
folks need a little bit more time, I sent you a Facebook message about what I'm actually doing. But Alistair.
Oh, so you did.
Alistair is also, while he's
Sure.
doing this thing, is he has the card that was given to him by Miss Bell, and is taking it and into a larger deck of cards. It's like some that he has, just a regular set of playing cards, and is doing like basic magician's tricks, like, and taking that card, just flicking it at like in walls and stuff, to where that one Jack of Spades will like stick to something and then falls down back on top of the deck. He's just messing with a deck of cards while doing that.
Okay, for sure. I'm just to remain as vague as possible, just to bug the shit everybody else. Nothing that would raise your suspicions more than they currently lie.
Okay.
Almost a purposeful lack thereof. Anybody else?
I cannot find my very specific notes. I know I wrote it down because I was like, I don't want to forget this, but I don't know where the heck I put it. So I guess we are we're just out on that. But he was going to speak to Callie on the watch. But I am failing to remember what it was specifically he was going to say, and now I'm feeling woefully unprepared. Could I also get a reminder? I have no idea what I did with those notes. I don't have written down the card that I got either.
You got the King of Spades.
I'm wondering if I like saved
That-
the document and like saved it to the wrong folder.
entirely possible. This is why you handwrite things.
You know?
I don't know. I say handwrite as I also record my notes on a digital device, but you know,
You're right.
the physical action. Whatever works. TBH.
You know, as much as I remember that I really badly did not want to miss this opportunity, I might have to pass up on what was said while I keep looking.
No worries.
I know we have, 3 days of travel before we get to Crystal Grit?
More than that. This is about y'all's first. Y'all left with. Shit went down so early in the morning that y'all basically had a full day of travel. So y'all have, especially because y'all are now being forced to travel at a slower pace since you have multiple wagons of treasure to all intents and purposes, and a dude. So it's probably gonna be closer to probably about 6 days of travel. Probably bumped y'all up to an actual full week.
Noted. For the sake of expediting this episode, I shall say there is...
He can ruminate. If
And
necessary.
probably slightly less gloomy than he was prior. Because he was...
I am hot. That's right. Sorry. I let my
God.
inside thoughts become outside words too frequently.
Or just frequently enough.
Better perspective. All right. So, anybody else? Once, twice, 3 times.
Me.
Sarah Bell, the lady in
S-
my bottom left corner.
Sarah Bell will offer Genevieve either to sleep on John, but with the caveat of John usually does patrolling at night, so it may be an uneven sleeping situation, or to sleep where Sarah Bell had set up her bedding.
In response to, before you even get to the second offer, like when you're saying that, would you like to sleep on John? I mean, he'll be betraying. Oh, are you so eager to get rid of me already?
Oh, of course not. I just wanted to make sure
Oh,
that
good.
you had proper sleeping arrangements.
Oh, it is more than proper. Don't worry.
I'm glad.
It's kind of like has a hand just kind of laying on your like bicep here. Like,
Oh, I wouldn't bother you about this, but the elder did ask that when I found you, to ask about the status of the mission he sent you on. He didn't tell me anything about it, but
well, he is not to worry. All goes according to plan, as his will defines.
that's excellent. I'll be sure that he knows that.
Thank you. I can always count on you, Cerebell.
Just blushes.
Kind of. Was he over there like
He's
shaking a
throwing
can of
cards.
dip? Like what is he?
Here, I'll throw napkins instead of cards.
I'm just like that's what this motion looks like to me.
I had to hold it into the middle of the screen.
What?
3D. Put on your 3D glasses now.
That'd be sick. Our budget's too
no.
low. Hey, give us some money so we can do 3D effects.
Yeah.
Please do.
That'd be pretty
That would-
sick
I think-
schmastic. Yes, ma'am.
Bill would just be, until it's time to go to sleep, she's just kind of hanging out by the fire, but she's drinking and doing like little training tricks with Gus. Paw down, up, just kind of goofing around.
Gus always glad for the attention. His attention while on the training and play though, whenever there's a gap, he is always ramrod straight, just staring like at you in the face, eye contact when possible, just keeping an eye on you. Okay. All right.
Clyde's probably with his wife.
I figured.
They're hanging out, not having the best of times. Of course, they definitely miss each other, but they're still very much in mourning
For sure.
of their kids. So they're probably, kind of taking the quiet time of not being on the road to sort of collect their thoughts in the whole situation and just sort of taking some time together to discuss where their life might be going and keep it to themselves.
For sure. All right. And if there's nothing else, we'll return to where we had left last session. You all sleep. Take your watches, keeping an eye out just in case. And you do not dream. You do not perceive nightmares or visions or even the normal things you see when you sleep. There is a distinct lack of anything. And in the morning, you all rise, rested. Your sleep does not seem to have been inhibited in any way, but it is almost the polar opposite. Instead of having something forever imprinted upon your memory that perhaps you would rather not have witnessed in the first place, now you have nothing. Oh.
Cerebell just wakes up. Another blessed morning.
Guys, Mark's exhaustion off of his character sheet.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were exhausted, weren't you?
Hey.
Nice. That's good.
That's why.
One thing that people will notice is Cerebell is noticeably more, I can't think of the word besides devout this morning. Kind of close to almost being like she's putting on a character. But it's clear that she's trying to make sure that Genevieve knows that she's still in the club, still loves Sanus.
Small smile on Genevieve's mouth as the morning proceeds.
Kelly's kind of just rolling her eyes a little bit because it's like, okay, whatever, and like tries to pack up everybody as quickly as possible because we have a long trek back, and she wants to get this job done.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mr. Daughtry.
Morning.
Good morning.
Joyful morning to you, Miss Daughtry.
Indeed it is. Before we get on the road, I figure we may want to take a look, and considering that you work for our dear mayor, that we may want to take a look at what we're traveling with, should you permit.
Yeah,
Mr. Geist is packing up his equipment still, but I'm sure he would also like to look at what we're traveling with.
The bullets
Yeah.
are rolling around.
Yeah, he just got back from his little, morning scouting sorties, packing it all up.
We
It
all
does
safe.
seem wise.
I mean, I have a crowbar that we can use to pry open the crates with. It's one of the things I have in my inventory. I don't know why.
Just so I'm clear, we didn't receive any instructions to not touch anything, right? Like I don't remember anything
No.
like that. Okay,
It was told for everything to just be returned.
everything. Okay,
He wanted everything returned.
sick. In that case, let's go through the stuff. Alistair's a curious man.
Actually, Geist is also a very, very curious and suspicious person, so he will
Sure.
join in on that.
I'm just going to go ahead and say I did not put exact numbers to all of this, so quite frankly, the majority of this is a fuck-ass number of gemstones. Like that, y'all know, like these are what the vast majority of the wealth. So just fucking people love to just go tearing down our street for
Supposed to
some
be a
reason.
racehorse of some sort.
Mhm.
Nay! And,
Nice. Yeah.
but aside from just, fuck ass load of regular, and I say fuck ass load, like that's being a bit hyperbolic, but there are multiple crates of these gems. But there are in a couple of smaller, so yeah, those are like crates and sacks. And then you have your little tiny jewelry box which held the gem that detect magic was cast upon.
Well, do we know about that, or is Callie holding that close to the chest?
That is entirely up to Callie.
I think Callie comes clean because everybody was there during the standoff, and sort of reiterates the conversation she, without saying her, I don't think she shares her last name again with everybody, but she says like, Granger knows who I am, and I'm going to try to use this as a bargaining chip and just share that I used magic and it's a very magical gem and show you. And then just like, I'm going to, if push comes to shove of like, you want this, you let me leave.
Gotcha.
If you wouldn't mind, I can tell you exactly what that does.
Miss Sarabelle, I use magic to, and I have a pretty good idea of what the types of magic it can do.
But do you know what they do? Besides their type?
Tell us, darling.
Yeah, I mean,
More information.
I'll hand it over. It's no skin off of my nose.
Just identify.
Just pass and identify?
Ritually.
Okay. What do you think?
Hi.
You spell slots for something?
If he needs any sort of arcana check to discern that info on that, I would love to help her with that.
I mean, that's entirely up to Sarah. I mean, she'll get the information one way or the other, but I mean, if you would like to assist them.
I just meant from like translating that from her spell, if the identify spell,
Right.
if there was like any arcane information that we could maybe give some more context to it.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I guess that kind of brings me to the question of what does identify look like? How does that work for Sarabelle?
So much like Geist's gun, there's a grayish green mist that comes from Sarabelle's fingers that you can faintly hear a chittering. It's almost like a laughter, but it is a chittering. Just kind of faintly fall over the item that she's trying to identify, and then snap back into her fingers.
Okay. So, with that identifier comes a, and I get the feeling that Cerebell probably has not come into contact with very many like powerful magical items. I mean, you've been kind of, I hesitate to say broke for for a while, kind of drifting from town to town on missions for Sanus, and I about called it a coven, but your cult. It's a cult. I can speak plainly to players. We all know what it is.
No.
So this is a torrent of information that is surprising to you specifically. So, hey, can you not? Yeah. Anyway, this crystal is attunement. An attuned creature does not need to eat or drink. An attuned creature requires half their normal time to complete a long rest or a short rest. An attuned creature replenishes all of their hit die on a long rest, not half. We following so far? I realize I'm just talking, and I don't know if anybody's writing things down.
I mean, this stuff ain't ours, so.
For sure. An attuned creature, when below 50% of their hit points, will regenerate their proficiency bonus HP every round. Up to the minimum.
Oh, yeah, that went from a ring of substance to a regeneration ring pretty damn quick.
And familiar to Clyde, if it's said out loud, when dropped to 0 hit points, a creature attuned to this item will immediately stabilize.
Goodness.
Everything on there.
That is everything that you see at this time.
That's quite a little bauble.
The townsfolk seem to be of the mind that something that they brought in caused these dreams. But everything we've taken out last night slept like a baby.
As did I.
Well, the first time in a while, actually.
Right.
So either we didn't get everything or something has changed.
Should we go back and check? If
Absolutely not. You can go back, Cerebell.
well, I only ask because if we get back to Crystal Grit and we don't have what the mayor is looking for, if they hid it somewhere else, he may be, I don't know your mayor's temperament, but he may be less than enthused.
Well, Cerebell, I think just to maybe save some conversation here, we were about this distance when we dreamed the first night. Or the second night, I can't remember now. Either way, we were still this distance away and we were still dreaming. So I think that maybe it's the latter. Something has changed, either with us or with this item.
Could it perhaps have been something that he was doing to it? We've just been carrying it. Requires, I don't know anything about magical artifacts, but some kind of
Magical ritual or something.
he just makes magic finger kind of gesture.
Well,
Right.
He was doing something necromantic in nature, correct? Miss King, is that something that you might be able to assist with? How does she react to being called Miss King?
That's been her name for over a
has it?
decade.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I wasn't
That's true.
around.
She does. She does. She reacts perfectly normally. To that name. Well, I was employed. Not at all. I was only ever a prisoner. If they were performing, I mean, there was a necromancer in their midst. But I do not know if his I don't believe his gifts were being employed for any objective. Specifically, I remember on the way, before I was locked in a room, conversations were had of we were attacked in the night on our way for him to make use of his undead. He commanded quite a few to be used as outriders and scouts so that the members of his gang would not perish. Quite a few of them disappeared in the night. I believe he was trying to replenish his supply while we were in town.
Right.
Miss Bell, I believe I interrupted you. Was there something that you wanted to add?
I don't know what everyone else experienced, but I didn't just not have those dreams that were disturbing us all. I did not have any. There are dreams that I have every single night that were suppressed. And that seems curious to me.
No dreams better than nightmares.
Not necessarily, Mr. King. Dreams are how we hear from the gods, work things out through our brain. Who's to say? It is curious.
When he says better than nightmares, Belle's just gonna kind of like, you see her face tighten, and she's gonna kind of step away.
Do you think we're being affected by some magic? Potentially.
Maybe. Let's see. Did I?
Yeah, being affected by magic, would there be something we could do to protect ourselves? Like, I don't know, I heard wizards in the city use wards or glyphs. I don't know, those are magical terms, right?
You do fellow spellcasters.
I am not
Yes.
a wizard, so I
Yes,
do not know
Mr.
about
Professor. Glyphs and wards are types of magic.
Right, well, the types that we can use to assist us here.
Let's see.
those. Stares at Callie.
I'm trying to figure out if there's anything that I can do. I have my divine sense and I have detect evil and good right now. So I could expend a divine sense just to do a vibe check on us.
Do you perhaps have a way to detect certain magics?
I mean, I have detect magic on me. I could do that too. I guess I'd cast detect magic again.
I also have some detection magics that I may complement this.
Excellent. I don't.
So what is being cast? Detect magic is being cast right now.
And I'm casting detect thoughts.
And you're casting detect thoughts. No thoughts.
Damn.
Shut.
No thoughts,
Anyway.
just vibes.
No thoughts, just vibes. Well, so the detect thoughts thing is going to be mostly a question for players, unless you're focusing on one person specifically. As for detect magic, like I said previously, there is the blaze of the gem, unless you've returned it to its lead box.
Yeah, it's I put it in its lead box after she has done her identify.
So no blaze
spell.
of that particular gem. You do detect a grand total of 30, 32 other magical gems in their not lead lined but still secure lock boxes that were separate from the other more mundane variety, and the rest of your friends' magical doodads and whatnot. But no magics affecting you all from an outside source, as far as you can tell, at least.
Can I mix that in with a divine sense as well to
Sure.
sort of
I mean,
see if we've
detect
been
magic lasts
affected?
for like a minute, 10 minutes. It lasts for a little bit.
Yeah, it lasts for. It takes an action. I don't know how long it takes, or how it lasts. Doesn't say. A little bit.
It's one action. I think it's 6 seconds. So
10
it's
minutes.
just, it's a one little, and then yeah, detect magic is for about 10 minutes. But for your divine sense, wow, Geist got really orange. But with your divine sense goes off, you have your normal, the slight undead being detected with turnip.
Right.
And some other vibes of which you are familiar with in your own party. And I'm assuming you guys are more or less traveling the same way you guys came. There's that same sense of fiendish presence, just like it has gotten older. Like it is fading.
Okay.
It is not. It is a lot more faded now than it was.
It's just like an imprint,
gone.
like
Yeah, like it's like the vaguest waft of fiend is how I would just like as a scent.
Okay. I think that I just go. Sabel, I don't detect anything strange or weird in any capacity, really.
And I'm not much of knowledgeable of the arcane arts, so I don't know what could potentially be blocking our dreams, if that's what's happening.
I guess we'll see. And she's like trying to get her like everything onto the horse because it's like we have a long way to go.
I will say for Mr. Dotry, for the detect thoughts, Sarabelle's thoughts are as if somebody was sprinting through her mind, and it is solely Genevieve. You would think that it'd be uncomfortable how fast her thoughts are just going.
Okay. So I guess with you with that detect thoughts, you tell me where you're going, what you're focusing on, whose thoughts you're wanting to hear, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, 22 deception check if you want it to make it seem like it's not detect thoughts. And then
I'd say basically against that would be anybody's Arcana check versus your deception, because you'd have to be knowledgeable enough to discern what spell he was casting.
I ain't even rolling.
Yeah, I only got a 15.
Todd's wife is an arcane practitioner. Well, you
Were
said
you
it's
detecting
22?
everybody's thoughts?
22. Yeah.
She fails miserably.
If
Roll
you are within
Mona's good, not that good.
30 feet of me, so it depends on how far Miss Bell walked away. And it's just surface thoughts at first. My line would be I would ask Callie to open the thing just to see. That's actually a general curiosity. If I get something from the object in the lead box.
Nothing from the object.
Okay, and in that case, party members and Genevieve.
Okay. What? Just let me know what order you're going in, so players can dissemble, or I can.
If you don't think you'd be having it, no thoughts, that's fine. But
Head empty.
no particular
Just
order
vibes.
here.
Callie, despite her sort of outside demeanor of sort of relaxed and being like kind of flippant, is very worried about the fact that she's been had, and does not know what to expect when she gets to Crystal Grit, because she has sort of found a home within the Sunrise Saloon, and it's been a long time since she's felt that way, and so there's a lot of like, this gem might be her ticket to save that kind of situation. There's a lot of like, I hate this fucking Granger guy, like everybody can go fuck off. I hate this. I think that's kind of the like surface thoughts around this gem here.
Anybody else have anything that they feel like would be relevant for him?
Clyde is just kind of thinking about uncertainties of not sure where things are going to be going in the future. To the point is like, I'm, not even sure why they're going back to Crystal Grit, right? And it doesn't even a home there anymore. At least they'll probably figure out some way to repay the dog for saving his life. Just in general, that.
Belle just has like thoughts. There's a boy, it's like a teenager, and the dog, like clearly they're playing, and the dog's in the voice training the dog, and it's Gus. And that's it.
Does Gus look younger?
For sure. Younger and less like scarred up.
I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase Genevieve's like kind of surface thoughts.
Die, motherfucker, die, motherfucker,
die. No. And I'm curious as whether this will kind of like clarify things for Alistair or not. I'm going to kind of describe this in flashes of like, we've had people thinking in words, and we've also had some images. I'll say there are flashes of like emotion of things, of joy and associations of them, of images of seeing Cerebell, but they are in images of either Cerebell doing harm to another living being, or not in the act of, but Cerebell recovering from injury. And there is like a distinct, almost childlike joy, and then the sentiment of, oh boy, I get to play again.
Cool. And I know I said I cast, but I forgot that Alistair doesn't do magic technically. So I would say like this is, in this moment, this would be like almost that like Sherlock Holmes brief look at somebody, see that their eye twitches in a way sort of thing, gets their sort of whole life from just a quick look. Unfortunate. I got nothing. Closes the item back. Hands it back to you.
Thank you.
Oh, of course. Thank you for letting me look at it. I know it's with it being your gift to your boss and everything. It must mean a lot. Cerebell, though, I would like you, if you are able to, do that neat trick again. And I'll show her the necromancer's staff that I pulled off of Fax for her to identify, if she would.
Of course. Same thing.
Cast it away. I can't think of that with like the snapping back without there being like a slurp kind of sound. I'd almost worried that nobody was gonna examine this stuff. So this staff clearly lot of necromancy. It is a spellcasting focus. Its base effect is that it increases the spell save DC or spell attack of any any spell classified as necromancy by 2. So it's either a +2 bonus to the spell save DC of necromancy spells or a +2 spell attack bonus to necromancy spells. It doesn't have a ton of abilities. Its primary, its one big thing is important though. It can store souls.
Honey.
It can store up to 20. And these do have to be sentient. The souls of sentient creatures.
Do you give this knowledge to others?
I'll give the fucking necromancer thing.
But it can store up to 20 souls of sentient creatures, which you can then imbue into basically similar to how Animate Dead requires a body. This requires a body for you to then imbue the soul into, and it will create those ghostly cowboys that you guys fought. They last until destroyed. Until destroyed, or basically you Pokeball the soul back into the staff.
She'll also say that it's useful for the creation of
which I can give y'all this if somebody wants to use it. I'll give you the stat block for the skeletal cowboys
she will,
at that time.
Cerebral will say that she has some uses for this type of staff.
But you specifically do not say that it stores souls.
No.
Okay.
Just that it can be used with some preparation for creating the ghost cowboys.
Which
Okay.
Can I ask for Cerebell to make a deception check then? Since that's
No,
lying by
I'm just
omission.
super good at 19.
That's very good. My insight's only +3. You cool if I roll insight against you?
Sure.
I'm not gonna roll because Clyde's not really paying attention to shit that ain't his.
Ooh, actually, I still have detect thoughts up.
Yeah, you do.
So, question.
well, that depends. How long is detect
no.
thoughts and
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
true.
true. That's true.
and because if she was casting detect magic as a ritual again,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's at least a
Damn.
10-minute.
Is it an
cast.
hour?
It
Be an
might
hour. Be an hour.
Concentration up to 1 minute.
Oh, no, that's some
no.
bullshit.
And that's only an 8 on the insight check.
That sucks. I had a 23 on insight.
So yeah, you definitely can tell that she's not telling the whole truth.
She's
Not
holding.
sharing
She's told some
everything.
truth, not the whole truth.
Mr.
And nothing that she
Alistair,
said
did you
was
see
a
my
lie.
my messaging chat?
Wary.
Are we waiting?
No,
Does
you go
anybody-
ahead.
Okay. Sorry, I had to make sure I didn't roll over somebody. So Belle will just kind of cock an eyebrow and get Cerebell's eye. Darling, do you know how it creates these ghost cowboys? Do you know
Oh.
how it works?
I mean, it requires this necromancy, so it requires the life force of another being, as all necromancy does.
Does
At least
it
from what I
just,
understand.
Does it work like a magnifying glass or a prism?
From Cerebell's understanding of the item, it kind of like weird question. Are funnels a thing in the Wild West?
Yeah.
I don't know why they wouldn't be.
I don't know when
I feel like
funnels
this is a
were
relatively simple
invented.
tool.
Ah, yes, the invention of the funnel.
It's
That's
not
some,
one of those random facts that I know. It works like
Now
a
I need
funnel.
to know.
takes
in
the soul
that
from the person you kill.
yes.
So if we kill and points at the guy that we have tied up in the cart, if we were to kill him, and then we had another dead body,
Be
we
useful
would
to
put his
test it.
powers in. I think
Wait,
we've already
you-
gone through that one.
It might it stores souls from people in it.
It stores them.
For a time.
Okay.
Alone.
Thank you, darling. I'm not as
Wait, no.
educated about
Can you
this,
check to see what souls are in there?
Sure.
Oh,
It's currently empty.
It is
darling.
empty as the day it was made.
Oh.
At this point.
Is there someone you were looking for? Because I don't think that whoever would be in here, that creating the Ghost Cowboys would be a good idea with them. I don't have the feeling that those individuals are too the same as they were before. She purposely cuts what she was gonna say.
Y'all remember that these Ghost Cowboys, like, they had the shapes of people, but there were no details to their features.
Clyde is definitely can I do like a wisdom check to like rake through his memory from that night to see if there are any, gangly, just in the peak of fucking puberty looking bald dudes?
I mean, you can certainly roll.
It's a natural 20. I'm pretty sure they all kind of look the same, but
They did. You remember they were
Okay.
basically featureless, like medium humanoid. Like there was what's the word I'm looking for? Their ghostly essence had like enveloped skeletons that, and the
Right.
skeletons giving them like physical form with which to grasp firearms.
Okay.
Basically, the staff allows the souls to possess a corpse, be it
Right.
a fresh one or a skeleton.
Gotcha.
Oh, or a skeleton.
Yeah, the
So-
ones you
so
guys
some more
fought were
grave
they
robbing.
were a bunch of skeletons. Yeah.
All right,
Who's
it
gonna
might be
read
time to. I need to see if I can make that bag of holding so I can get a bag of bones.
Vagabond. Before we continue to sprint too far away, the surface thoughts that Alistair would have gotten from Geist would be multiple points of indecision. Probably what would read as fear of Callie. And something to do with the rifle that he's always carrying around. Not related, though. So that falls into the multiple points of indecision.
Definitely related. He's gonna shoot Cal.
Gotcha.
You have to catch me first.
Oh, I know.
Well, thank you so much, Miss Sarabelle. I'll take the staff back now.
She'll kind of tilt it back. I would prefer to keep it myself. I think it would be useful for some new skills that I've learned.
Does it not
What
need
you
to be
say is-
returned once we get to the town?
Well, this was taken off of the corpse of one Mr. Fax Somerville.
If
Some
you
of
would
the
like an
impression we're supposed
example, and she'll just smile and cast Wither and Bloom. A little bit away.
Counterspell.
Well, that wasn't very nice.
I'll bring it down out of your hands if you go to cast something from it, and I'll say, adjust. Miss Sarabelle, you're more than welcome to it.
Well,
I appreciate it.
I mean, if it's a necromancer staff, it probably is best suited for a necromancer, right?
Well, that may be true, but a lot of what I do is now is about the creation and death of beings.
Seems about in your wheelhouse, yes.
Clay just looks at his wife like, "You want me to fight this out?" type kind of look. Like, do you care?
You want that staff, honey? You
That
want
looks
spell,
mighty
Captain
fine in your
Focus?
hands.
I got you.
What is this, Black Friday at Walmart? Are we fighting over the last TV? Like,
Goodness.
But I have heard of some people coming up with a split arrangement. Maybe when she needs it, she can use it, but when I need it,
Miss King speaks up. Dear, I believe you know that I'm trying to move away from those old ties and magics.
All right.
if
Sarah,
possible.
straight soy jack face.
Yeah, and like again, like looks at that staff and even if I was interested, I do not believe I would want that staff anyway.
Fair enough.
Miss King, I believe you and I need to have a conversation later.
About what?
Well, I was speaking to your wife, sir.
Yeah, I was speaking to you.
There's no need for us to be testing.
My dear friends, we can have all the conversation on the road. Let us depart this campsite and get back to Crystal Great, shall we?
And for those who are nosy about her magics, they may be useful in the saving of lives later on.
Yeah, she's trying to turn over a new leaf, so let's not have no relapses.
She just kind of holds up a hand to you, Clyde. And if you want to talk about it, it'd be quite all right. You assisted my husband in rescuing me from what I'm sure was not going to be a pleasant end. So I can do that much.
Also, I don't know if your husband has told you, but I provide services of the medical nature, and if you are experiencing any discomfort or disease, I can take care of it for you if you need.
She glances over at Clyde, turns back, very polite, like smile.
Clyde openly says,
Well, dear, I feel quite well at the moment, but if I start feeling otherwise, I will be sure to enlist your assistance.
That is good. I can take care of a disease like that.
I'm sure you can.
nurture it, let it grow, take care of it real well.
Miss King, we've had all this conversation this morning, and here I am being as rude as the night is dark. My name is Mr. J. Ellis Adultery, and it is a pleasure to meet you finally.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you as well for assisting my husband in my rescue, and I'm quite sure in maintaining his health in doing so. Shakes your hand.
I'll introduce her to Agatha as well. And says, Mr. King has been quite
I was reaching down. She's having to do this. Reach up, a little kitty cat person.
Alistair will bow as he does to make that journey shorter for him. All the niceties that you can.
You are too polite.
Well, folks, we're ready to hit the road, or we need some more discussing. Callie, I know you are. There's
Kelly's gone on her horse and has done the slow goodbye of just like, if I start leaving, everybody else will also have to leave. Like,
I think Callie left like 20 minutes ago, and we're still talking right here.
There's a little dot of
Yeah.
red on the horizon.
Sarabelle
I
reluctantly
mean, she got that
points
cart.
the staff at everybody in the party, just goes,
What, are you pointing the business end at the party? Like,
That's what I
whoa!
said.
Yeah.
Alistair just-
Gotta be.
Yeah,
Gotta be.
fucking,
Yeah, of
fucking
course.
Miss King, it definitely is like, reaches up and is like,
No.
Like
Yeah.
eight people reach out and
Yeah,
pull
like,
up on the
whoa.
barrel.
Dark magic stick not at us, please.
I mean, I would have to say something like, and she casts Firebolt real quick. To get it to fire.
That's nice.
It'll just tickled.
just in case. That's not.
Fair enough.
Arabelle, my love, that thing is such a work of art, and I'm sure you're going to use it. Why don't you pack it away so it doesn't get damaged by our travels, dear? I know it's going to be something that you are going to enjoy using once we get home.
She just places it on John.
Real quick, since y'all have stated that you're getting ready to kind of hit on the road, can somebody roll a D100 for me?
Not on John,
Sure.
because the captive's there. I changed my mind.
4.
4. Okay.
All right, no, you can't roll anymore. That I'm putting that to a vote right now. Everybody voting on kicking Kent out of the rolling category for the party. You can't just roll a 4 on a D100 and just act like it's
Right,
nothing.
yeah. 4. No big deal. That's fine.
4
It's
could
good
be
though,
like,
right?
how
Four's
fucked are
great.
they in this next combat? From like
Not
super
really
it's
easy.
a
fucked to
mosquito
really fucked.
to like Vecna
Harass.
pops out with a cowboy hat and like fucking dual Gatling guns.
So funny enough, I have 100 stat blocks starting from low CR to high CR, and that's just picking which one. So
4
that's
was
Vecna's staff actually. Like,
4 was just a single coyote, elderly coyote with a cold.
COVID.
He's got the sniffles.
Leave that poor coyote alone. Just sad.
Gus will chase him off.
Yeah.
Gus will just
Gus
encourage him to
and
keep on
Turnip.
going. And Turnip, yeah. Turnip will be like, keep moving. Keep
it's
walking.
not relevant. Don't worry about
Cool.
it.
Hate that.
What?
Yeah, I don't like to hear that. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. That's every DM says. Just don't worry about it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Mm.
Jones is intimately familiar with the phrase "don't worry about it." Anywho, so y'all are moving off. I'm assuming, because we got hung up on some other things. I assume y'all perused all of the gyms and the like, or no?
Correct.
Yes, no, maybe so.
Yes,
Mhm.
I feel like if we're gonna go to the trouble of busting open the crates, we're gonna
Yeah.
like have a
Yeah.
good look at everything.
Most of the ones that were in crates and stuff were completely mundane. They're just gems. They're only worth a lot of gold. There were the 2 smaller crates that held gems that are magically charged, even from their birthing, totaling out. I think I said 33, if that math is right. No,
32, I think.
no, 12, 9, 21. I was actually wrong. It's 30 on the nose. But anyway, these are mind crystals, functionally. 12 empowered, 2 quickened, 9 heightened, and 7 careful, being the meta magics that those represent. So those 2 boxes are a substantial amount of wealth all by themselves. They rival the value of the mundane gems in those 2 little boxes. So you guys set off. It is a day. It's like this is an eerily similar reverse version of your days of travel to get to Picton. If I could just get like a round of perception checks from folks.
Oh, awesome. 21.
21. Very nice.
Natural 20 for 23.
Natural 20 for
shit.
25.
Fuck it.
Natural 5 for 8.
Woo!
19 plus 6 for also 25.
There's a
Sweet
gun line.
Christ.
6.
6.
Hell yeah.
Miss Bell is
The
nursing a
daydream squad over
hangover.
here.
I actually wanted to have
Yeah, right.
little conversation with Miss Bella that may describe our lack of perception here.
Sure, go
Alistair,
right ahead.
Alistair was going to pull up to you and ask you to describe Gus back in his days and hope that it maybe leads to some other memories. And he would pass it off as he's a writer, so he's curious as to the background of everybody he works with.
Oh dear. Gus. Oh. And she looks at him so fondly. He was from a puppy. He had those giant paws. So cute, always knocking everything over. And he just was so smart. Smart as a whip. That dog could learn anything. Just in the blink of an eye. Why, hang on. What's our kid's name? Why, Alton, he could show him something one time and Gus could do it. You would swear that he could understand people speaking. Anything Alton said to him, he would do it right off the bat. But and of course he grew to the size you see now. But Gus is like me. He's starting to fade a little bit, but yes, in his day, always so good. But the gentlest of dogs. You could leave him with anybody. He was the best babysitter ever. And she's just tickled, and she'll like kind of lean down and pet him periodically. This skirts the top of his ears from her being on horseback and him being tall.
You mentioned the name Alton.
Did I? Oh,
I did.
yes. Alton was my son. Gus was his dog.
Well, then he had a great friend.
He did. Alton was too good for this world. He was most beloved.
I'll just let the conversation trail off after that.
And Belle kind of, change it to something else like the scenery, or doesn't this look a little eerie doing it backwards or whatever?
The rest of you.
You mean the 6 and the 8 don't see what's coming?
No. I'd say
Don't forget,
things
I've got
coming.
whip
First
of warning,
of all,
though.
stop assuming. That's all I'm saying.
Got Whipple warning. Don't forget.
Oh, that's right.
That's on you to remember. Do not put that on me.
This is
That's
her.
No, I just
reminding
meant
you.
whatever you're getting ready to say. I've got
That's
Whipple
a
warning.
you. To answer your question, hold person does not work on a Fae. They are not humanoid.
Aren't satyrs Fae?
Yeah, once again, that's on you to remind me.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, I'm still new. I'm still learning things.
I know. That's just right. Those things I don't fucking remember that there are. I forget half the time there are player races that are not humanoid for that exact reason, because that shit's wild. But okay. So I believe what was the lowest of the rest of you? The lowest of the rest of you was like a fucking 20 something still, right?
I got 21.
A 21 was our lowest. So we had 20 and above, and then below 10. Those were our two camps.
And 2 natural 20s.
Fucking ridiculous. So I would say there was something that the two of you noticed, but y'all still rolled so shit. So even y'all thought this is still the 20s. Y'all still notice this. First, is while y'all are traveling on, the most of your day of travel is very quiet, very mundane. Not much going on. Eerily quiet as your trip here was, until we get into kind of the latter quarter. I say latter quarter, more like y'all probably are going to be stopping for camp in about an hour. You figure. And I'm just saying, so all of you, I was going to say my 20s and up. That's all the rest of you. All the rest of you first notice as y'all are traveling along the remains of a handcart smashed to bits, more or less firewood off the side. And shortly after seeing that, raising your view to a little ways away from the road, there are probably, actually, I'm gonna make it worse. Let's do this here. About 6. Sorry, I was looking at a thing. Okay. Actually, a patchwork of 6, and this is size categorized. 6 medium to small individuals, varying sizes, out a ways away by some brush and rocks. I'm trying to decide what a role for this would be. It's not. I will say nature. Can my 4 who got above 20 roll knowledge nature check for me?
Knowledge, nature.
Quick question while we do that.
Can we roll these untrained?
Sure.
Does that cart look familiar? I'm specifically thinking of the this, I forget the religion, the sun worshiper.
The radiant.
Because you said it out loud, yeah, no, 100%. That looks like the hand cart that family were pulling.
Okay. 15.
15?
18.
18. 19.
9.
9. Clyde, there are dangerous animals that are out in these parts. You just shot them. You didn't worry about figuring out what exactly they were. You weren't too concerned with the what versus just what their intent was. You let your wife worry about identifying that crap. She's the knowledgeable sort. The rest of you, since everybody else got above a 15, as you guys kind of slow to examine, you see the larger creatures, humanoid in shape, still covered in this like lot of short kind of brown and black fur with pointed ears. You can see them reaching and pulling hands up and eating something. The smaller, 4-legged, not having to pull anything up, but heads down, eating something, and they look jackal-like. They are jackal wares.
Again?
I like the creature, man.
How far away?
I feel like it makes sense that they were there. Huh?
How far away are they?
They are easily like 120, 150 feet off the road.
Are they like coyote version of jackal bears?
They can be, sure. These look like coyotes and taller, like 2-legged, like humanoid coyote like hybrid, something in between. I mean, those of you that rolled above a 15, you know, like these creatures can look like people, but that they are a relatively common problem here in Ukripshadal. They roam and they catch, you know, folks unawares. They will sometimes, you know, play it off as being, you know, wanderers who were, you know, that they have been, you know, struck away from their caravan, things of that nature, or will some of the larger packs or against smaller groups, they will just attack them in the night. It's why, you know, some folks like Granger, you know, carry silver bullets. Or just folks in general.
You said they're 150 feet off the road. Did we not notice them until we were like even with them, or are we further back?
I'll say close to even. Like I said, I'll say y'all kind of actually got sight of them as y'all began to round. They're like the boulder and I was about to say scruff, like brush that they were using as like cover while taking their meal.
Hold up. That's not something that we should be unwary of. You know, they lived out here. They used to sell them back in the city for cage fighting.
Sarabelle is already turning her cart towards them
Fucking
and heading
What's
towards
that?
them.
Callie does.
Wait. What are them things out there?
Yeah, those are jackal wares. Or
Oh, yeah,
coyote
were-
wares. They're
Were-yotes. That's right.
where you? Yes,
Yeah,
Right.
resilient little bastards and tricksy.
indeed.
Unfortunately, I don't think that there's going to be any survivors. If I would rather us just move on the road with our
Maybe
weapons.
off the road. Maybe around.
It is not our business to
It
interfere.
is our business if there's a child there.
I will say
Well, I
you do
mean,
not hear anything,
There's
and you rolled a natural 20 on your check.
Well, I mean, if that's that same carriage, there's definitely children with them.
They are dead.
Yeah.
How many are there, DM?
There were 6 that you can see from here.
I will consider leaving when we see the
Professor,
bodies,
how
at
many
least from a
bullets you got?
distance.
Let's just start putting holes in them and see how many,
Don't
what the
have-
pelts look like by the time they make it to us.
He just kind of like holds up the rifle and he's like, I haven't loaded this thing since she,
Did the magic.
Yeah, I've got all that I need, I think.
All right.
Right.
Well,
During this entire time, Genevieve is sitting on John, I presume, with Sarabelle, and is from her seat has one hand. She's just kind of consistently like stroking your forearm, and is kind of leaned up and is kind of whispering into your ear. And instead of having to think of the exact things she's saying off the cuff, basically she's whispering to you prayers to Sanus, and that you know that are usually like they're the ritual prayers done before bringing joy of a kind to souls that the cult deems needed. Basically consecrating murder.
How set on this are you?
Very.
We are
The death
going.
of
they're 150 feet away. Just fill them with holes.
a child is
far.
a terrible thing.
It is a terrible thing, but
Guys,
Unless-
he's going ahead and like getting in position, bracing the rifle on the edge of a cart, like maybe over like the axle or something, taking a knee.
people have stopped.
Alright. I fucking don't want to do this. Are you sure? Is everyone else ready?
No.
I mean, I got my
God
rifle. Let's go.
Damn it.
Uh,
Kelly pulls out her hunting
I know
rifle.
Belle didn't notice any of all this, right? Because she's deep in conversation. But I rolled a separate perception check for Gus, if you allow it, DM.
I
And he
figured after people started talking about it, like once your guys' attention was drawn to it, you would have noticed. It was just that it was relatively far out and they were behind some amounts of cover. Once it was pointed out to you guys, you would have been able to see it.
Okay.
Guys was like, those things. We should not fuck with them, which is apparently what we're going to do exactly. Is there one that looks bigger and more dangerous than the others?
You have the ones that are in their humanoid, medium-sized creature shape, and then you have the ones that are smaller in their coyote forms.
That 25, does he happen to know if they're spicier in one form or the other?
Not particularly. It's more of a that they use their different shapes for being their full human forms to be more unassuming, or their coyote forms to also be more unassuming. They're used for deception.
I mean, anybody got a lens or a glass we can see them at a distance for? I mean,
He's actively looking through his lens at them. So,
they just murdered them folk, right? So
oh.
might as well.
Okay.
Everybody
Sarabelle's gonna
ready?
pull out her pistol. Her palm pistol. The range of
That's not
160
out of.
feet.
That's completely out of range and completely useless.
I was told
Jesus Christ.
150 feet. The palm pistol's range is 160, I think. 160 or 90.
A revolver has 120 as its max range.
I just go with what was put in the thingy.
Mr. Alistair, since you ran into a real crux of like your detect thoughts and the fact that it's not magic, I will say, without any rolls necessary, that you would be the only person to hear him mutter something about Grim Harrow before he takes his shot.
Yeah.
That's a remnant of the detect thoughts.
Clyde would
What the fuck is that?
would find a rock, prop his hunting rifle on, and just stab a short sword to the dirt next to him. Put both the revolvers on top of the rock on either side of where the rifle's slung up.
Right.
And for what the fuck? Why is the palm pistol listed as having 160-foot range?
You can shorten the range if you want. I saw it
Yeah.
as like a Derringer.
That's
It's a dairy.
That's like got like a range of like 80 foot.
Okay. Still.
Yeah, once he sees that everyone's got their pieces out, he'll damn it.
Okay. Roll and attack roll.
$74.
72 actually.
Barely hits it.
That's pretty high.
Also 25.
How my bad? Yeah, that'll hit. Roll damage. Really don't. Because you still have the. I'm assuming you still have the repeating shot.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Would a 22 have hit?
Yeah, that would still hit for sure.
I would like to move 10 feet closer for Clyde's attacking, so that he's within the cusp of the range increment.
Okay.
Shit.
I would say for reference, every single one of these things rolled like hot dog shit for their fucking perception checks to notice
They're
you guys
snacking.
stopped just in the middle of this road with this big ass caravan. Like every single one, single digits. Every single one, all 7 of them. Like,
Oof.
They're snacking.
yeah, I rolled with disadvantage for that exact reason. Like they're preoccupied.
As soon as Geist shoots, then Belle will take off on her horse to get closer in range, and Gus will be right beside her.
Okay.
Man.
Strategically, though, not like between anybody in our group. She like circle around. She's not a dummy. She won't get shot
Okay.
by accident.
Sarah Bell. I guess we'll shoot the palm pistol. I was going to say she's going to jump on with Miss Bell, but she's shooting the pistol.
That'll
I'm
be
not gonna
an
ask for
even
attack roll
60
'cause
points
it's
of
gonna be
damage.
this. 60 points of damage? Out of curiosity, did you? I know. I'll ask you later. 60 points of damage. Out of curiosity, did you side up on a coyote or a hybrid form?
One of the coyotes, or no,
Okay.
the humanoid ones.
One of the hybrid formed coyote wear coyotes.
Where yote.
Wear yotes. That actually counts.
Wear yotes.
That's got potential. Wear yotes. One of them wear yotes, boy, I tell you. Anyway, side up. Everybody's keyed up. Bang! Just fucking ginormous sound that I'm not gonna try to recreate because I am in my house and I'll peek the hell out of my mic. That's a loud gun. You fire and it takes off like the shoulder on the side that you're firing at, as well as like the entire like front. I'm just gonna say it anyway. The front quarter panel of this Wario, plus its noggin. Just
Does it cleave through?
Oh, I'm so sorry, DM. I'm sorry. It was
Yes.
70 points of damage. Or no,
now
66.
it doesn't kill
66.
it. Now
I
it
forgot
doesn't
the,
kill. Oh, now it does kill it again. It was 70 you would have overshot. It would have reset back to 0 damage. But you avoided that fate.
I
The
forgot
stack
my
overflow,
sharpshooter damage.
doesn't go past 70.
Too clean of
Anyway.
a shot.
Yes, fuck ass load of damage. Like I said, front quarter panel of the were yoke plus its noggin. Fucking obliterated. A couple of you go, two of you go charging forward. Was that my understanding? I had Sarah Bell and Miss Bell both at the first gunshot trying to close the distance.
And Gus.
And
Yep,
Gus.
and Gus.
Right. Gus kind of gets folded into what you were doing.
Yeah. Also,
doesn't have opposable thumbs, so he can't wield a gun. So has to close distance with the hostiles.
True. He's got to get close to his
Um,
chomps.
Yes.
I was gonna fire 2 shots. Does an 18 hit?
18. Yeah, 18 would hit.
Oh no, I'm level 5 fighter, so I can just pew twice.
Right. So
Okay.
18.
18 and the other one was 22. Both of those at disadvantage.
Both of those, yeah.
Oh, those are D10s. Oh shit, not D8s. Let's go. Hunting rifle, cool.
Hunting rifle, big pew.
Oh my god. So for the first one, I rolled 18 plus 5 damage.
So for 23,
And then the second one, not so hot, as 12.
that's 12. So I say 23.
23, so
23
30,
and then 12.
35 total.
Yeah. Are 2 shots. Boom. First shot, slamming into this thing. It stumbles. I mean, and here's the thing. Like, while you didn't recognize what they were, you knew, and you kind of, Kurt, you hit that first bullet. Does not cleave all. I say cleave. Does not sink all the way into it like a shot.
Yeah.
Would. And second shot though, still deep. Fucking big ass gun. Second shot though, catches it as it kind of rears to one side, catching it in the eye, and does manage to kill it. Barely. 2 of them down. Off of those shots. Okay. Now, whether we roll what's the word I'm looking for? Initiative or not is up to you guys. One of these creatures was basically exploded, and another one was taken down with just 2 shots. Those of you that know what these things are know that they are intelligent. These things turn and begin to run.
Yeah.
Are you guys pursuing or not?
As long as they leave the bodies.
Geist will probably take some like perfunctory shots at them to like continue shooing them away, but it is not any form of pursuit.
And as they run, the ones that were in the like larger humanoid forms like morph and kind of like, I was about to say transformer down, but they shrink and everything into their smaller coyote forms so that all of them are smaller targets, and they're like fucking erratic movement just away.
Do an 18 on the next attack roll as they're going. I'm not gonna roll any damages. I don't even want to know if it hits. Just use the.
It would hit, but without your sneak attack,
It would have sneak attack because of the not moving for advantage.
Oh, okay, fair enough. But yeah, that would hit.
It is. It's the big gun equivalent.
Go now, go on, get it. Go now. But y'all do very successfully herd the jackal wares away. Jesus Christ, that gun does so much damage. Fucking hell. You almost didn't kill yours. So they're shooed away. Pursuit is not being pursued. I was trying to think of a different word, but that's what we're sticking to. My brain not good. That being said, what are y'all doing?
Well,
Gus would chase after him for a little bit to make sure that they were gone, like so he would fall. But sorry, Kent.
maybe just go see what these fellas got.
Yeah, and Belle would have like kept riding flat out until she
Sure,
got
sure.
there.
Whoever thinks they would be the first person to get there, roll me another D100.
I got you.
It's probably Miss Bell
Let's-
since she was on horseback.
Yeah.
Not guys, she ain't moving.
Miss Bell, I think it's you that's going to be there because
5.
Callie's not.
5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 or 65?
Alas, 5.
5. That being said,
Wait,
it,
was that? Hang on.
is it a 0,
I can't
0,
see
and
with-
a 5?
Hang on. It's never mind. Hang on. That apparently was a D20. I need 100.
Yeah, you need D100.
There we go. Oh, that's a 98.
Oh,
Holy shit.
That's way
Everybody's
different.
alive. Everybody's
Way
fine.
different.
No, unfortunately. It would appear that unfortunately they had just begun their meal. They are still all corpses, but they had only just begun to eat, and it is the entire family.
It seemed like they died from getting attacked by werewolves, or are they just scavenging the bodies?
They were like throats slit, like some were like throat head was like ripped out by teeth. Others were like died of lacerations. They were killed by the yotes.
Word.
Sarah Bow will load the children into John's cart bed. I don't have room for the adults, but the children will get proper burials. It's what they would have wanted. It's what needs to get done.
Clyde will rifle through the parents' pockets like he was looking through empty, like, clothes on the side of the road. Completely nonchalant. How do you do?
Okay, are you
Bill
just
Pitfer.
looting them?
Yes.
Okay, roll an investigation check for me real quick.
Sure.
I know where something is. I'm gonna go and grab my book.
14.
Okay. I roll an investigation check as well, just in case. Who knows? Maybe it's lost. 15. Not much. I'd say probably like a grand total between them of about 20 silver.
20 silver. Cool.
21 on my investigation check.
21. Yeah, find your little worse for wear, a little dusty, but find it just fine.
I'll snatch those pendants of the radiate off of them.
All of them, all 5?
She's already taken the kids, just whoever is left.
Just
with
off the parents? Yeah, 2. So 2.
Ritual cast of gentle repulse on the kids.
No. So are y'all doing like some funerary rites?
Nope.
Belle
No.
would have grabbed
Well,
them
Not
I
all.
said
adults.
y'all. You don't necessarily have to be part of y'all, Clyde.
Belle would have put the parents over. She would have slung them over the back of her horse, and she would have walked back to catch up with Sarah Bell. With the parents, and as she catches up to her, she would say, "My dear, no children should be left alone."
That is true. And I know I'm a smart woman, I know that this is not the type of magic that many hold, but if there is a potential for them to be brought back, I've extended the time, hopefully. But otherwise, they'll be able to be buried, and it's the way that Sanus would have wanted it. It's the way the parents would have wanted it.
Miss Sarah Bell, would it be so terrible just to make a grave here on the side here? Why?
Not for the children. They deserve to have their bodies laid to rest, and the potential of the scavengers coming back and digging up any graves is too high. Again, I do not care about the parents. If Isbel would prefer that they be buried with their parents, then that'll be what's done. But the children will be buried in the town.
I suppose. Can we get a move on now?
Yeah,
All right.
let's progress.
Let's go. Let's move along.
Guys, exit from a sobering reminder that this is a bad place for a lot of people, at least. As we move into the evening of y'all's second full day of travel to make camp, that is where we shall go ahead and take our break, as it is 8:50. I think it's
wow.
a good spot for it. We'll be
Sounds
right
good.
back, going to refresh
Refresh.
biology of various natures, but we will be back shortly. I encourage
Taking
you
that
all
bio
to do
break.
the same. Hey, I like my way of phrasing it. But we'll be right back. Leave your computers where they are and come back with us. We'll see you shortly. Bye. And hello, everybody. What's that face? Hello.
Our cameras. Our cameras are.
Oh my
Fuggled.
God.
Yeah.
Cody's massive. This is
Oh my goodness.
Tarask, Cody.
Chaos.
Tarascody. Tarascody. There we go. Anyway.
Well, I thought he was just gone, but he's ginormous.
He was just massive.
Anyway, I'm gonna focus on not that. Welcome back, everybody. It is us again. The Whispers and Dust, done by Hard Knock Dice. Very nice. Anyway,
Accent. God.
brain, mouth, nothing in between. Yeah, we were gonna play some more Dungeons and Dragons. We were doing it just a little bit ago. The same Dungeons and Dragons. We didn't stop and are doing something new. But what that is Whispers in the Dust, this Fantasy West campaign. And if you missed the first half of the session, what our group were doing was at least in part examining the loot, discerning the magical capabilities of the one lead box confined gem that Desmond Sinclair very specifically wanted them to retrieve, finding out that it does a lot of things for sustaining your body for the most part, not having to eat or drink, not having to sleep as much in order to rest, making sure your hit die stay topped off, healing you if you drop below a certain amount of health, and stabilizing you if you are reduced to 0 hit points. And then they put it back in the box. And they found a staff. I say found. They examined the staff of a necromancer that they had murdered that can buff some necromancy spells, and it can also store souls for the usage of creating undead minions, because that's what necromancers do. And then they traveled, glorying in all the wealth that they carry, that technically they are, let's say, required, encouraged to return to their employer, plus some other things that they got along the way. Unfortunately, spotting the tragic passing of the family of Radiant Worshippers that they had encountered firstly on their way to Picton, chasing off some, I was about to call them jackal-wares, the were-yotes, so that they could be given more of a respectful and peaceful sending off. And that's where we rejoin our party as they have traveled this last hour and a half or so that they had left of daylight, and are making camp on their second night of travel. And so I guess before we get to the sleeping part, is there anything anybody would like to do this evening in camp?
Muted. Yep.
Yerd.
I also have something.
Okay.
Cool, because I got to get into John here in a second.
Oh my.
I am going.
I was just say,
Oh, go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say Bill probably would have pulled out the card that Sarah Bell gave her and would have like spent some time just kind of like breathing in the ocean smell.
Sick. I am going to shuffle through some of. I feel like Alistair's the guy to keep lots of books on him. So just a trunk back there, pulling up any sort of like anatomy text that I may have, and taking out a couple of pictures, like drawings and stuff like that, of some anatomy books that he might have, different different races, humans, elves, whatever, gnomes, whatever the case is that he might have. And I am going to go talk to Mr. Granger.
Okay. Who, as far as I'm aware, has remained
Bound and
trussed up with the gag and all that fun stuff.
And poisoned.
And been being repeatedly poisoned for intermittent posts because it lasts for 6 seconds. So he's been kind of doing this on being poisoned or not. So.
And I'll tell the rest of the party too. I'm not trying to keep it a secret from them. I'll say while they're sitting around the fire, whatever the case is, he's got a couple of papers in his hands. Sarah Bell, I'll need access to John in just a moment if you and Neil are okay with it. And for the rest of you, just for your knowledge, I do plan on speaking with Mr. Granger.
John's desires are mine, and you're more than welcome.
I will be careful. Thank you, Miss Kelly. If any of you want to be there for it, I simply just want answers to some of the questions that we have from this morning. And I feel like if someone's got answers, it's probably him.
Right. When you remove the gag from his mouth, I would keep far away from his face. Maybe even, I don't know, lie him down and keep it secured so he can't, hit us with anything that he can do, even though he's been disarmed of his weapons.
Be relatively common knowledge that Dragonborn have breath weapon.
Yeah, I just rolled the check and I got a natural 20, so yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you even what type of breath weapon he would have.
Well, I'm no expert in that type of restraint, but if you'd like to assist me with doing so.
I'm sure a knife to the neck will do just as well. And I can bring him back as long as we do not outright kill him.
It's not my form of asking questions, but we'll see.
Has to be some
Hopefully
type of
he's
deterrent.
just forthcoming. I'll go talk to Granger really quickly.
Climbing up on into John.
Yep. Oh god,
Just-
I thought for a moment I forgot John was. First, I say, John, do you mind giving me access to your back carriage here? Thank you
Thumbs
so kindly.
Let's see, give me a sec.
And the little flap drops down.
If it's helpful at all, I do have Zone of Truth. So
Super helpful, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so I think that as you're, getting ready, I basically strap its head down with like leather straps so its head's like literally pointing up so he can't wiggle around, and I just use my spell focus basically, or my holy symbol, and basically a bubble of like red and white envelope him. I don't think he he has to make a 15 charisma saving throw, I
Also
believe.
have him do a con save for the poison.
Right.
Yeah. Charisma save of 15.
Okay. I'll pick that up in a minute. That is an 18 on the dice.
God damn
Charisma
it.
saving throw, unfortunately.
What about the con save?
Con save. He's a lot better. This is at these. Nat 1. He's poisoned for the next 6 seconds.
Cool. So he gets disadvantage on the.
Poison does not give you disadvantage on saving throws.
Really? It doesn't. I thought it did. What does poison do?
I don't believe so. I believe it's just disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls. I think. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. That was my assumption.
Why is poison not under the conditions? Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, attack and ability. Yep, you're right.
Okay. I mean, I know that if he
Yeah,
if
you
he
know
succeeds-
he succeeded on the saving throw.
Yeah.
No,
I
he's
look
not
over-
currently.
Yeah, I look over to Mr. Dotree and go, I tried to make sure that he could not outright tell a lie. He apparently can resist some of my magic. If you need my help with other things, you know where to find me.
DM, really quickly, I'll say before you go, maybe I could speak to him. I want to see if you'll allow some mechanical stuff really quickly. Would you allow
don't see
him,
why not.
if not to force the save again, but if he willingly failed after he has already made the saving throw, would you allow that?
I'd say so. If she maintains concentration, I'd say somebody could willingly submit after the fact.
Okay. For a moment, maybe he'll be more pliable in a moment. Mr. Granger, good morning. Good evening, I should
This is
say.
after you remove the gag.
No, not yet.
No. He is.
Wonderful to see you as well. Really quickly, and I'll bring out some papers, those anatomical drawings and stuff, and they're very like realistic. These were like from medical document stuff from when he went to school and stuff. And he's got like thumbtacks on him, and he goes to stick it into the cart. He's like, John's a thing. John is
a creature.
John is a creature. And I think better of it, and I just like instead take some like wet tobacco or something and stick these drawings. You'll see a distinct lack of Dragonborn physiology from these drawings, and I'm a very curious man. Just so you're aware, and I am very skilled. My hands are very stable, so I can do it while all the while keeping you quite alive. I have some questions for you. I don't want you to come to harm. If you would please, I would like you to succumb to my friend's spell here and tell me the truth about some matters. And if you do so, you will sleep well tonight.
Make a intimidation check for me.
Intimidation. All right.
I'm gonna tell you your DC is 18.
DC is 18. All right. For intimidation, I don't have that big of a bonus. It's only +8.
Only +8. That means you got a 50-50.
21. 13 +8.
You definitely, you can see him like where his head's kind of strapped down, where he can only kind of look up. When you're talking about these drawings and kind of looking at him, you see him examining them, seeing your hand. He kind of glances around at the whole, like the rest of who all ever has decided to join for this. You see him thinking, and then just kind of like you see him shrug his shoulders, and you feel the spell take effect.
All right. I have it can as long as I'm 60 feet from it. I will maintain concentration. Once it's done, I will look over to you and say, "Do what you need to do. I will be over by the fire. If you need." I think I like just do like a little jazz hand, like if you need me to bring him back up for some reason, let me know.
Oh, no, not at all. I don't think we're going to need that, are we, Mr. Granger? But I may be in need of your, the special gift that you have.
Which one would be
Miming the lead box that you have.
Oh.
If you'd like to keep it in eyesight, I don't want to kick you from this place. Okay.
She's slightly annoyed of just for the stop that we made and all that kind of stuff. So she's sort of in her own thing. So she just hands you the Gus, your turnip is yeah. Yeah, she trusts you. Just give it back when you're done, Mr. Dotree.
But of course. Take out the gag from him.
Yeah.
Just
thing?
in his mouth.
Okay.
And
Question. Real quick, can you read off the exact wording of Zone of Truth real quick?
Indeed. It says you create a magical zone that guards against deception in a 15-foot radius sphere centered on a point of your choice within range. Until the spell ends, a creature that enters the spell area for the first time, blah, 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 blah. It says, on failed save, the creature can't speak a deliberate lie while in the radius. You know whether each creature succeeds or fails on its saving throw. An affected creature is aware of the spell and can thus avoid answering questions to which it would normally respond with a lie. Such a creature can be evasive in its answers as long as it remains within the boundaries of the truth.
Okay. Question. Does Alistair resist the effects of the spell?
Ooh, yeah, I would.
I assumed you were
absolutely-
within 15 feet of him.
Yeah, I would absolutely do that. Charisma saving throws, I'm pretty good at.
That'd be so funny. I know neither of us can lie. It's fair.
A natural 9, but +8 for 17.
17. Okay. So we're good to go. Okay. I was curious. I don't think it would really matter, but it'd been funny.
It'd be interesting, yeah. It'd be interesting for sure. So, yeah, I'll take the gag out of his mouth. I feel a little bit better for you.
Yeah, after not being able to talk or wet my mouth properly for better part of 2 days. Much more pleasant.
Let me help you with that, and I'll take out a like a wine skin and pour him some. So it's probably like cognac or something higher end.
You see him at first. He looks like you're getting ready to pour, and he doesn't open his mouth, and
I'll
then
take
he
a shot.
kind of is like, you see kind of the mental calculation of kind of pointless to waste poison on somebody who you have like trust up. So he's kind of, oh man, threatening torture. That's mighty polite of you. As he is stuck, still staring at the ceiling of is John covered wagon?
Mm-mm.
Staring at the sky.
He could be if you wanted. If yeah.
Gross.
Take one of the leathers and put it under his head as a pillow.
Well, you said you
Let's
had
go.
some questions you wanted to ask.
Indeed, I
Whoopee
did.
cushion inflating underneath his head.
Oh God, gross.
Huh.
Indeed, I did, but I figured I'd take every bit of this time to let you relax from your restraints for a little while. So,
As he is still actively restrained.
well, the restraints that he's.
Right.
However, yes, I have some
Some of
questions
them.
about what you were doing in Picton, namely regarding this jewel specifically here, and I'll show him the magical golf ball.
Hey man, it has a lot of facets. That's all I can think of is it looks like a fucking really fucking expensive golf ball. A little pointier. It's a little pointier. They're not divots. They are hard. They're flat sides. God damn it. So showing him. Well, my plan was to sell it eventually.
What of the dreams did you know?
I can't keep staring at the ceiling. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I can't do it. I gotta be able to look at who I'm talking to.
The camera's the ceiling. We're good.
Camera's the ceiling. Well, they started sometime. Oh, I don't know. Maybe the third or fourth night on our way to Picton from attacking the caravan, acquiring the goods. Terrible nightmares. Everybody's was the same. Taking the place of some creature as it did its killing. It hungered for something, it seemed like. And then we had a couple of our boys disappear in the night. Won't manage to even fire before, but we could never find what killed her. From then on, well, what was left didn't seem recognizable to any of the rest of us, so we decided to play it safe. We had the necromancer. Kept guard with his ghosts, his undead. They didn't last long either, but it lasted long enough for us to get a pick.
Did you see what this was?
See it? No. We were a larger group. It seemed to be attacking those who at least that didn't know was there. We didn't see much of it. Anyway. Most of the remains of what it had done. A few folks went missing in the town late at night. Folks were out by themselves. So we started setting guard for it. I guess I say we never saw it before. We saw it more once we went down. A large, two-legged creature. I won't call it humanoid, but it was too big. Gleam in the night a little bit. The boys in pairs would fire a couple shots at it. Once it known it was seen, or otherwise it seemed to lurk elsewhere. It never directly attacked the town.
An ambush predator.
I would think so, perhaps. At the very least, it didn't. I don't know. Those dreams, I mean, whatever was in them, it attacked whole towns. It didn't seem much to care, so I suppose maybe it's something different. Seemed odd to us. The necromancer said he needed time to replenish his goons, so we were giving him time to do so before we could leave. We needed him to be able to fend it off. At least that's what we thought. Well, then you and your friends came. That didn't last long. Which, how few of you there are. I'm definitely gonna die once we get back to Crystal Crib, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't make it there. It's like a face in his palm. That's weird.
That's wild. Sorry. You don't think we'll make it back to Crystal Grid? How do you say that?
Gods no. There are only what, 6, 7 of you? Not counting the rabbit. It's gonna come for us. I almost guarantee it.
You think it's searching this?
Seemed to follow us for a while. We never ran into it. So we're either damned unlucky or it wants something in that. That's what I'm looking for. Something in those boxes. Well, that's the only thing that's one of a kind. So
Alistair's gonna shut the box when he says that. You don't know what it is, but you think it's after this. That sounds about like what we were going for. I'm gonna give him another shot of cognac.
Worst ways to go than after having some good drink.
I don't pity you, that's for sure. On a different.
I wouldn't want it if you offered.
Is Cerebell still standing behind me?
She'd be standing nearby with the palm pistol, but not close enough to eavesdrop. Just close enough of like, you start breathing fire, I am going to shoot you in the chest, and then I'll bring you back to life and gag you.
I am going to subtle cast detect thoughts. And I'm going to say, tell me what you know of the rabbit.
You trying to whisper low enough that Cerebell can't hear the question?
Yeah.
It's kind of, I was about to say, raises an eyebrow. Raises his eye ridge. question. She seems quite attached to your friend over there. Not a friend. Also, taking the hint and keeping his voice low as well. He just kind of shrugs again. I know she didn't seem particularly loyal to those she was traveling with. Seemed perfectly happy to shoot him in the back to make sure that we wouldn't kill her too. But said that in return for sparing her life, that she'd be happy to travel and entertain for a while. Seemed good at her job. My folks were happier. Well, I'd be lying if I said she wasn't a bit charming. Has a way with words, that little rabbit.
Do I get anything from the detect thoughts, like stray, like things that he might maybe not saying?
Let's see.
And then this will be it for me. Sorry.
I'll say kind of in a similar vein of, as you detect thoughts earlier, you didn't respond to like if she's she's not your friend or not, and so it seems like kind of what he holds back, and it kind of flashes in the, well, if I say this, maybe that'll upset him or her at Cerebel. He doesn't know, and so he doesn't plan on risking it. Is there was a couple of people that went missing even after they had begun to lock down the town, and asking a couple questions. Not it was townspeople, a couple people from Picton, none of the Worm Riders, and just from subtle a little bit of questions asked. This was shortly before the God damn it, what's his name? The sheriff that he had done. Had seemed like that it was, people were unsure, but some folks had said that they last thought that they had seen them going off in the company of Genevieve, but that was right before Walden started making too much of a fuss, and they tried to put him and his deputies down.
Yeah. All right. I'll give him one last shot of cognac and hold his mouth restraint up and be like, "You ready?"
Oh. Well, I suppose no talking you out.
No.
Mouth bare dry. Well, not ready, but I mean, if you're gonna do it, nothing I can do about it.
I give you the chance I gave another gentleman. Any last words you'd like to say before I put this back in your mouth that you like them to be remembered?
No. I don't think there's nothing I want to say that'll be remembered.
That's pitiful. I'll put the mouth restraint back in.
Yep.
And hop out.
Once Cerebel sees Mr. Dotree walk away, she'll go and just make sure that ask him if he has any diseases that need to be treated.
As a mouth gag in, just eyebrow ridge goes up. But just kind of.
So yes or no? You can shake your head.
As far as I'm aware, his head is currently still strapped down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So he
okay. Well, if
cannot.
it's still strapped down, she'll take the gag out for a second.
No, I do not.
Fantastic.
Okay. He's just laying in there. Just kind of does his best to close his eyes and relax. Strong word, but I mean, not much he can do about it. Seems like a man who has accepted his fate.
And then she's going to go to Mrs. King. But if anybody else has anything first.
Anybody shoot.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna drop Zone of Truth once we're golden. So.
Alistair returns it to you and just quickly says, "Let's keep it in the box."
You got it. You're muted, Cody, if you're trying to chat, my guy. I can't hear you!
Not only was I muted in Skype, I had manually muted my mic as well on accident, apparently.
Wrong mic, I think.
Damn. All right. That boy thinking.
There we go.
Yeah. There we go.
I not only turned it off, I also set it to the wrong pickup pattern.
We out
Anyway.
here. Let's go. Okay. What's up?
He was very, very absent as he, seeing several members of the party occupied, went on his usual walkabout, but would have been gone a little bit longer than usual, as he would have taken the opportunity to collect and do some simple crafting with whatever pieces of wood or stone he could find. I don't know if we were near like a copse of trees or there was some dead wood laying around, anything like that.
Wood and stone would be acquirable. What are you trying to craft out of curiosity?
He will be kind of using some of the like thin branches or pieces of wood and a hand-sized rock or whatever, just like his his belt knife, and carving a rune into it, and then tying the twigs and bits of grass into a kind of patterned casing around it.
Okay.
Probably would have taken some time, maybe like an hour or so, and then come back.
Sure. Is that something you're bringing back with you, or something you're leaving out and about?
Oh no, he'll be bringing it back with him, but it will be in like a pocket or a pouch or something along those lines.
For sure. Okay. Easy enough. Anybody else? Sarah?
Mr. King, Miss King.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, hello, dear. Hello, dear. Hello there.
If now's not a bad time, I'd love to have that conversation, and you are more than welcome.
Miss King kind of smooths her skirts in front of her. Happy to answer your questions to the best of my ability, my dear.
Thank you. I don't know if Mr. King has told you, but I am a crafter of the flesh. But
I don't know if Clyde has disclosed the information about his companions, or if mostly he's just talking to her.
Yeah, I'd give her a basic rundown of the companions, and essentially the biggest thing I would have expressed to Mrs. King was the fact that although Sarah Bell is a little out there, the most dangerous aspect of her is the fact that she is infatuated with an absolutely legitimately insane hair gun.
He did inform me of some of your works, dear. Which I hope this is not overly disappointing. I have done no work in myself.
I'm aware. Well, I know that there's not a ton of overlap in our magics, but I know that there is some, and where there's death, there's also life, and
this is true. Some healing magics, especially those dealing with resurrection, necromantic in nature.
I mostly come to compare notes in a sort.
Well, unfortunately, any notes I had once possessed of my personal research into the arcane are gone by a couple weeks, it would seem.
I mostly meant metaphorically. Those of that are in your brain will suffice. And if you're aware of any magics that manipulate diseases, change
Manipulate
characteristics.
diseases. One moment.
Yeah, firebolt.
I was actually kind of a blaster necromancer.
Blaster necro.
Did a lot of. I lit undead on fire and then had them run at the enemy. You know?
Hell yeah.
Familiar tactic,
We got
very professional.
We got them A-tier tactics. I got you.
Great success.
Damn, this campaign's turning into Cloverfield.
She all of a sudden she says, "Yes, back in my native lands, I learned much of necromancy." As Jesus, I suppose only some relatively low tier magics. I could, with necromancy, you could sicken a creature for a short period of time. I believe that whether this falls in, that could be caused by disease, depending on what route you take to accomplish it, what arcane runes or words you use. I could accomplish blinding an individual, or even deafening them. I suppose you could achieve both ends of that same spell through a route of disease, if you so chose.
Do you know of anything that could change the chemistry of one's... Not chemistry. I don't know if... The way that the body is made up.
My dear, that sounds more along the lines of transmutation magics. If you're seeking to change one's body or anything from one thing to another thing.
Hmm.
Going to different living matter. The exact nature of which I cannot profess much knowledge. I have not delved into arcane studies quite a long time. Kind of glances at Clyde.
I have not at all. I was gifted my powers through a higher source.
Just kind of bit of like a placating smile. Of course, dear. I sometimes forget that there are those among us so blessed.
But that is mostly what I wanted to talk to you about. If there's anything you'd like to talk to me about, you're more than welcome. And obviously, Mr. King knows where I am. If you need to find me.
My dear, you are quite tall. I'm sure that if I need you, I can spot you. Hard to miss.
Benefits of my lineage.
Mm. Predators. All right. Anything else for anybody for the evening?
Same thing as last night.
Same thing as last night. Okay. What's y'all's watch order for the evening?
Callie has the first and the last.
First and last. Okay.
We're keeping on, and yeah.
Y'all need. I mean, y'all can have as many as you want. I mean, technically, I think you need at least 4 for everybody to get 6 hours of sleep for those who sleep.
Clyde will take third.
Third. So 1 and 4, third. Alistair is still doing his
Second.
zoning out. Second. All right, so we currently have 1 person on each watch.
And John.
and John.
Were we
John.
not doing the same watch order we did previously?
To you guys. You
I don't
tell
remember what
me.
that was.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Years ago.
I only remember that
That was last year,
Geist and
yeah.
Callie, and then Alistair did not take one because he went to bed every time.
Slipping. So currently, I got 1, 2, 3, and 4 each covered by one individual.
Rita will
Yeah,
will
'cause
take
yeah,
watch with me. Boom, 2 people.
Sure.
Let's go.
There you go. 2
Power
kitty cats.
couple watch.
Sure.
Unless told otherwise, Geist was going to do first watch again, since that's when he can fucking see.
For sure.
And
So.
and he does that with Callie.
Yeah.
Then Sarabelle, is John doing watch with you?
He does every watch.
Oh, he
Doesn't
does
need
every
sleep.
watch.
He does not sleep. He might not be particularly perceptive, but extra pair of hands.
Does have 60-foot night of dark vision.
Still have to see what you're looking for.
Oh. Nice. Okay. I think last time Belle had done watch with Callie, so she'll probably she's probably tired. She'll probably like oversleep and do a half and half, and like in the middle, like hop up in the middle with Callie, and then stay for a little bit with Sarabelle.
Okay. So you're taking second watch.
Like a split, yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. So, well, everybody, go ahead and start rolling some perception checks. Watch 1. We have Geist and Callie.
Perception. Could be a 15.
15.
17.
17. Nice.
Natural 1 for the night for John.
John is fucking preoccupied.
Doesn't have his eyes out.
He doesn't have his eyes out. Well, and he's sitting there, and fucking Granger, who can do nothing but lay there, is like kind of restive. Like, he can't move around or anything, but he's kind of like humming to himself and shit. He's just being distracting to John. Like, it's only distracting to John because he can only be that loud. John's just like, fucking Silver Dragonborn. It's fucking gag, being annoying. Like, if John's sitting there doing the why I oughta, like, fist shake. But so I had a 17 and a 15. Cool.
19.
19. You're not awake yet. This is not your watch. Sit on that. Hold your 19, sir.
14.
Hold. Oh, can you technically perceive and stuff while you don't have to do? Is it like the Sentry's Rest?
I'll read it out for you. It is.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I thought it was kind of like trance.
I don't need to sleep. The magic can't put me to sleep. I can finish a long rest in 4 hours, as long as I spend it in an inactive, motionless state, during which you retain consciousness.
Okay. If you feel like that he would still be perceived. Oh, you did. Yeah, you did say. I remember.
Also, the just for future reference, not that I'm playing an elf right now, but the Elven Trance does specifically state they're fully aware of their surroundings the entire time.
That is wild.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that gets passive, but like passive percepi. But anywho, noted. So for 15, 14, I'm just going to go ahead and address the 14 because I know what you're looking for. For the moment, sleeping. Like all cuddled up, just sleeping. But with my 15, 17, I guess before we get into, is there any conversation either of y'all are going to have, or are we just kind of cruising through?
Probably. Not immediately, but at some juncture during the watch, just... are you sitting there entirely silent, or are you engaging in small talk?
I think that sort of similar to the night before where you were kind of off your game. Callie is a little off her game in terms of like just being anxious to get back to Crystal Grit, so she hasn't been as witty or talkative to anybody, including Miss Bell, which is unusual because she's usually at least doing small talk with her. So I think what you see during this watch is Callie is up on her horse with her rifle, like not like ready, but like hanging out ready to if something pops off, and just kind of staring out and doing a watch.
Spends the first half of the watch just kind of like alternating between keeping watch and side-eyeing you, and then at some point around the halfway mark so you're usually peppery. Let's go even a wood.
Oh, just the slowing down of our little party getting back to Crystal Grit. It's got me anxious and annoyed.
Because of Ruckus, if you like, you seem to enjoy chastising me.
Just because you're so easy to chastise, Professor.
Pragmatism is the most easy thing to target.
I get bored easily.
That's why you yell and take my guns.
Sometimes.
I get you one of those little children's puzzles with the nails tied into knots.
My father tried that a long while ago. Didn't work.
Just kind of seems to hesitate on something, and then...
You can ask, dear Professor.
I don't need to. You know what I'm going to ask, so you're going to share?
I guess it's a matter of what you want to ask.
What? Eucryptiador, Christ's sake. Well, Father, you know who he is already. That question's been answered. Why?
Why is he a
And
cruel
before
bastard?
you get too deeply into it, I'm aware of gilded cages, but last I checked, someone in his position didn't exactly make his children's life a hardship. Oh, you were aware. He's got a flask. Milk.
I think Callie has to pause and figure out of like how does she explain abusive childhood, like non like hitting abusive childhood of she kind of crosses her arms like with her rifle and goes, Professor, I don't know how your family was, but a man of the kind of station my father is at likes to utilize all of his resources to get ahead.
Well, that goes.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Nobody touched me. I was just a very good songbird. People talk secrets around small children, thinking that they don't know anything.
Where are my percentiles at?
What you need those for?
Sorsham really does enjoy utilizing children for its own ends, doesn't it?
I wouldn't know. I only knew my father and his friends. I didn't get to meet any of the other consortium children. My father thought we were better than them. It was quite a lonely childhood, Mr. Professor.
I'm going to take a second. Back in a moment. He's going to do exactly that.
Yeah.
Walking like a loop.
Yeah, he's going to get like 50 feet away from the camp, kind of It's not the most patrol he's ever done, but he does take a walk basically.
Okay. Callie's still on her horse with a rifle, just like chilling. Like,
This whole conversation would have been happening with him like sitting on a log looking up at you, because that man cannot fight and ride at the same time.
okay.
Visibly distraught, kind of, or not distraught, but I don't know, whatever, like the negative inverse of nostalgic goes on a walk.
Whenever you get back, I think Callie just says, "Professor, it is what it is. I have broken free of that gilding cage. Working very hard to stay out."
Seem to be doing a good job. Keep it up.
Trying. If it's helpful, there was a time where he thought I was dead. Apparently, I didn't do too good of a job of staying dead.
Modern age, lots of ways to check on that, unfortunately, with the right resources.
Unfortunately.
Should probably focus on watch. My apologies.
If you say
Kinda
so,
like-
Professor.
Like, hesitates again, but then just stays quiet and kind of keeping watch.
There's a lot of shrugging and holding of rifles, looking out into the wild blue yonder.
Yeah, it's probably like one of the most awkward conversations to have ever been had in this desert.
Beautiful.
As you guys' watch passes, just a couple of different times, you hear the distant, I don't know, I'm assuming they howl, the distant calls of coyotes.
Fuck.
Kind of a screaming bark.
Whatever that noise that just got played through our ears is like that. It's kind of, yeah. Woo! Like tiny wolf howl. Very small, miniature wolves.
Cool.
That's what coyotes are, right? Anyway, other than that, watch is undisturbed. Pass into our second watch, which was Sarah Bell and Miss Bell, correct? Yeah, y'all got it. Y'all can't hang out, okay? It's too confusing. Not allowed.
Just kind of
Bad.
mumble and end in L, and it's fine. L.
I'll be honest. Genevieve don't get up to take one.
I didn't think she
You-
would.
You start to wake up and she grumbles a little bit before huddling back under blankets.
Talks to her, just make sure that everything's covered. Cover the foot.
I have a fucking Doc Holiday moment. It's like, no, I'm sure of it. I hate her.
Says the man also who has refused to take one the entire
You
time.
said that's my thing.
That's the moment between him and Johnny Ringo, right? Like they realize they're
That's
they're
true.
very much the same. So it's like, I know, I'm
True.
sure of it. It reminds me of me.
I
hate
hate her. I hate her. I will say, so as you go to cover her back up, she does wake up just enough to kind of trace a finger down your jaw before back into slumber. So, what were our percepes for you two? People who actually waited their watch to roll. Kent?
Sorry. 13. So
13?
not great.
Not terrible, not great.
10.
10. Wow.
Dirty 20.
We got the whip. We
What
got the
about
whip a warning.
what about Gus?
Gus. Oh, okay.
Look,
DM translator. I'm trying to help you out right now. Roll high.
Oh, yeah. Gus got a dirty 20.
Very nice.
Hey.
He's a good boy. He's the best boy.
Very nice, very nice. So as your guys' watch, I guess before I've been describing other events, is any conversations the two of you want to have, or are we just flipping right along?
Sarah sees that John doesn't have his eyes out, and goes, what are you doing? You know what you're supposed to be doing. Get your eyes out. And John just kind of like shrugs. It's very clear he's lost them somewhere in him.
Dear God.
She just goes,
Starts dancing a little jig. You can hear him bouncing around in there, but where
"We'll
are they
get
actually?
you another pair, but these ones you don't lose."
Wilting hands.
And Granger's just in there being bounced around. It's like those old like massage chairs that they would have in motels.
Okay. Let's watch.
Yeah.
Begins to pass. Similarly, even with only a 10 and a 13, still hearing the distant, I say distant, less distant howling coming from different, like one to your one side to your east, the other towards your west of this coyote howling. Gus, perked up ears, is definitely on alert, but with his dirty 20, he's not, like, he's still sitting. He's just, you just see that he is very attentive, but he does not seem to be in a, like, he's not on four legs, like, tail, like, isn't poofed up or anything. Like, his, what is it, his scruff? What is it, his hackles are not raised. There we go. That's what I was looking for. But he does seem to, he does, you know, a couple small barks to make sure that you are paying attention. He gets, like, he gets your attention and drags you to make sure that you acknowledge that you're hearing what he's hearing.
Absolutely. Belle, like, stand up, walk over to where he is, peer into the darkness, you know, pat him on the head. Good boy.
Seems satisfied.
She'll sit back down. Ask Sarah Belle. Sarah Belle, darling. How are you
Yes.
feeling now?
Oh, I'm ecstatic. I hope that Genevieve can stay with us as long as possible. But obviously she has her own duties to Sanus.
Of course. As we all have our own roles. Will you be staying with me? I hope. I understand if you have things to do, but I do hope you will stay with me at the sunrise.
Oh, for the time being, as he wills it, I will remain in Crystalgurt for a time. But unfortunately, eventually I must go the way of my dear Genevieve. Continue my mission for our Lord.
Of course. I will be delighted for you to stay as long as you can, dear. Where might you be going after this?
Oh, I'm not entirely sure. Our orders come as they come.
Oh. And how did you get here, my dear?
Oh, with John, of course.
Of course. Of course. How long have you been with Sanus?
Oh, it has been trying to remember how old Sarah Belle is. I know she's still young. It's been about 6 years since I was enlightened, illuminated, you might say, to his ways.
Okay. I do appreciate your patience in teaching me the terminology and things. You must have been quite young, my dear.
Sorry, cat walked in. I was
Bad impression.
about 16, 15, 16. I had
Were you
traveled.
on your
Oh, I was, but I mean, my parents had sent me out to make a means on the road, the same as they had.
Oh,
We grew up together on the road, and well, not together. I grew up on the road with them, uh, so I've been well aware of the dangers that one faces.
I see. Are you an individual who enjoys their freedom being alone on the road with no one to tell you this way or that? Or did you prefer when you had company?
Oh, I mean, I always have a guiding force behind me, but I prefer the company of others, the joy that they bring. The road, as beautiful and as inspiring as it can be, is quite boring at times.
That can
Does not
definitely be true.
does not spark much joy. But the destination does, and that is what drives you.
Indeed. Indeed. Well, I'm quite glad that our little town was one of the stops on your path, dear.
As am I. But enough about me. What brought you to just thinking of the word nice little town like Crystal Grit?
Oh dear, I have wandered and wandered for quite some time, many a year. As a matter of fact, I actually came from Verdaland originally, but I spent some time in the old continent before I came over looking for a new start. And I wandered around and, well, Crystal Grid at the time was not the Crystal Grid you see now. Things were small and not doing so well. And well, our dear Sunrise at the time was not called the Sunrise, and it was a bit of a mess. It was falling apart, but Billy, dear Billy, he was still behind the bar no matter what. So I decided to stay, and we fixed it up and we made a home. And we
Made a
enjoy the people that come along as they do.
made a fine establishment.
Well, thank you. I like to think so. And I do, like you, I do enjoy the company and I do enjoy the freedom as well.
Hopefully, once we've handled the business with the mayor, we can have some rest and relaxation.
I agree. What do you think? I say that once all this is done, maybe the Sunrise should throw a party for the town. What do you think, dear?
That would be lovely. I'm sure the mayor would be more than happy,
Well,
as he is
I hope so.
getting a fair bit of his money back. I don't know about all of it, but his belongings.
It's true. We'll see how long we are in our dear mayor's good graces. Sometimes things may have to change, but I hope that he will agree. I hope he will see eye to eye with us.
Indeed. Is there anything else you're curious about my dear lord?
Um, how did you become illuminated, if you don't mind my asking?
Oh, it's actually one of the first times I met Genevieve.
Indeed. Do you mind sharing that story with me, my dear?
Of course, it's also how I got she gestures at the scar that runs from her mid cheek down to her chin. It's how I got this scar. Uh I was providing a service the same that I do to you, making sure that the girls and gals who are providing their services remain safe, and customers remain and follow the rules as they should. And unfortunately, I was hearing unusual noises from a certain room that particular evening, and I'd entered through one of one of the security doors that the customer doesn't know about. Uh, and I had found my dear Genevieve on the floor, the customer standing over her, and it was quite clear his intentions. So did what I would do for any any anyone in that situation. I put a knife up to the man's neck, and well, he wasn't too keen on cooperating, and so he got I guess he had a ring on, cut me cheek to chin, but I was able to make sure that he would not be breaking any more rules, you might say.
I'm glad to hear that, dear. That is
But
not to be tolerated.
I was a little surprised after. It would seem that I wasn't the only one to get a cut in. Genevieve had actually stuck him before I had entered. But she assured me that he had been breaking rules, and she simply was trying to deal with the rule breaker the way that it needed to be dealt with. But following that, you can imagine my distress over the gentleman's passing. Well, not gentleman, the man's passing. But I had been introduced to the church that evening, and his corpse was dealt with discreetly.
I see. Had Genevieve introduced you to the church that evening prior
Indeed.
to the night's shift? Oh,
Oh no,
indeed.
it was after
It was
all the
after.
business with the
Oh.
gentleman. Typically, those unilluminated do not get an invitation unless certain circumstances arise. While Sanus is a loving and laughing god, certain individuals are less kind, less understanding of our ways.
I see.
But part of that gentleman remains with us to this day, though.
Was that the beginning of John, my dear?
Part of it.
I see.
I when I was given my lord's powers, I was able to collect from those who the church deemed worthy of sacrifice. And that man was there as well.
She'll reach inside of her jacket. Say, I do appreciate you sharing all that with me, Sarah Bell. It's very kind of you. And I am, again, just so delighted that you are here with us. She'll pull out a deck of cards. It's a new deck. It's not the one with all the missing cards, right? She'll say, fancy a hand of cards as we wait. I believe Gus is well on alert for us right now.
Of course.
Start do that.
Not too good at these types of games. I mostly break up the fights that follow, but
Not to worry, dear. I know some that I remember from, well, some that are very easy to learn, even for young or inexperienced card players. So I'll teach you. And she'll just start to play some like Go Fish or whatever with her.
I was gonna
Y'all
say
playing
Go Fish.
war.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Your watch ends. Go to wake up the kings.
My lord.
Damn it.
I'll intercept them.
You're gonna intercept. Who are you intercepting?
The kings as they wake up.
Okay.
Mr. King specifically.
Sure. Go ahead.
Mr. King, take the night, spend the time with your wife. I'm sure you'll enjoy a warm bed next to her more than you will walking around this place. I have the watch. Plus, I have John right here with me. Ain't that right, Sarah Bell?
All right. Yeah. Go
Of
right
course.
back. That's fine by me.
Not 10 down. Extra sleep.
And John will start doing a circuit.
Okay. Before we go forward, I know you had Cody, you had said that there was something that you wanted Geist to do kind of as he was going to bed. So this will be slight rewind to the end of your watch as Geist was going to bed. What was that you were wanting to do?
That rune he had carved into the stone and woven with bits of grass and twigs earlier, he is going to surreptitiously, sending a suspicious glance over at wherever Callie is laying, just kind of and before he goes to sleep, holding the rune,
Mhm.
he is going to recite a chant or an incantation. He actually doesn't know what it means because he does not speak the language that it is in. He doesn't even know what language it is in. But he will take his little pocket knife and kind of nick one of his fingers. It's not a big dramatic blood sacrifice. I cut down the hand or anything. Just kind of nick the finger and make sure
Disappointing.
some of the blood is smeared on the rune before he goes to sleep. And he will proceed to have some interesting dreams. It is disorienting. It is both the kind of exaggerated perspectives that you can often have in a dream, but he is something very close to full cognizance in the dream. Finding himself in a wooded kind of hollow area that he is not familiar with in waking life, nor in this strange dream, as this is not something he has done before nor ever really thought that he would do. And in this semi-awake, time rushing, distance and space, inconsistent, he begins to trace out a series of sigils and runes. Again, not that he actually knows what they mean. He is performing this from rote memory. Kind of like if you learn a math equation, but you don't actually know how it functions. You just know, you plug it in here, and get this result. He doesn't actually understand any of the process of it. When he is done, he takes out of his pocket the one thing that seems the most real. His body, his clothes, his environment don't seem real, but the rune that he pulls out of his pocket seems very normal and present and material. Placing it in the center of the large glyph, for all intents and purposes, that he has created, step away and begin to recite the incantation again. Something will approach him from out of the wood. And as he has been instructed to do, he will not turn to face it. And as he wakes, the specifics of the words spoken to him fade in and out along with his responses, because neither of what it said nor what he says is in a language that he understands in the waking world. And as he wakes, that rune will be burned and cracked into.
Holding on to that. Mr. Dotry, does your watch, could you roll a perception check for me?
Shit, you not. I was sitting here rolling, and I rolled like 4 natural 20s, and now I have rolled a 6 for a total of 9.
Total of 9. Okay. So you're doing circuits with John.
Yep. I just have a quick conversation that I'm gonna have with him. That's gonna be the extent of it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
As we get far enough away from the camp, John, your main obligation is to your creator, Cerebel, correct?
John originally goes like that, and then
then wavers a bit.
yeah.
Oh. Alistair wasn't quite expecting that answer. Most of your allegiance lies with her. Very well. I don't think that her newfound friend means her very well, John.
Like, very fast thumbs up.
I would see it that you would ensure Cerebel's safety from her.
John just hits you with the...
If you see that rabbit going to cause violence of any sort, or even encouraging it on the Cerebel, you should step in. You want me to pay you? I just saw this.
No, that's the, like, the upraised palm of, like, I don't know how. I'm trying to figure. He's got one hand.
Mm-hmm.
Can't. Besides, yes, no, maybe. Not very not able to communicate too well.
Sure.
He emotes the best that he can with that hand.
Mm-hmm. I think I've made my point. That'll be the end of the conversation.
John reaches inside and then pulls out 2 little rocks. They're supposed to be his eyes.
So funny.
I don't think they're helping me out very much.
But John will... trying to think of how to do this. As usual, when he sees you, he'll offer you a seat.
Sure.
He'll just troll around with you on the back.
Question
This
for you guys.
is-
So how far out from the camp are you guys going, like on these circuits?
I assume not terribly far. Like, what's my dark vision? I think it's 60 feet or something.
I think that's the default.
60 is default. There are a couple of races that have 120.
I don't even have dark vision, actually. I thought I did. So
Can't see in the dark.
as far as I can, like, probably still with the firelight, like a campfire light hitting the things at 30 feet, maybe?
So 30 feet.
Within 30 feet of Bell?
Probably at some points during the circuit. I assume we're probably like a 20 foot radius around the campfire. So at some points I would be.
Cool.
I'm gonna say for tonight, John, no dark vision.
He doesn't have eyes.
Yeah.
I rolled
Anyway.
that perception at disadvantage. I rolled a natural 17, so the 9 sticks.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna take that. So that with that 9 and John's nat 1 for the evening, you are engrossed in your conversation with him, and you have, you've got thinking about Genevieve and how things might screw up what you're wanting to do. Like, it's just on the mind, and so you don't notice. Or it's just like, I mean, you hear it, but you just kind of file it away in the back of your mind as those howls of the coyotes had gotten closer. It just doesn't register when they just stop. And Belle, could you roll a d20 and add 3 to it for me?
Roll it. I can't tell you what it says. 13.
13 exactly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, 10 plus 3, 13.
Fantastic. So it is that none of you were surprised, luckily. You're not surprised, but you could not see it approaching. As you turn, you see standing over Geist, his sleeping form, Mr. Dotry, a towering humanoid form, barely lit on the side by the firelight, probably like between 8 and 9 feet tall. Arms hanging down to like the ends of its long clawed fingers to about its knees as it's kind of hunched over Geist. This creature's body looks emaciated and overly long, like all of its features look stretched. This pale flesh stretched over skin too, like it's too tight. You can see the edges of all of the bones, this only being broken up by sections of dark, which include the ends of its fingers. The light, as you gather this creature in your eye line, sections of like stone covering bits of its forearms, the end of its fingers forming these like almost stalactite like claws, plates, like almost, I say plates, but sections of its skull covered in stone as well. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's not like armor. It's like there are parts of it that are rock. Eyes are these sunken caverns with this orange-red glow within them. Nose and ears seem to have either rotted away, or they look like maybe they were victims of, like, they had to be removed. You're not sure, but they are not present. The jaw, unhinged isn't exactly the word, but just hanging open with a mouthful of an incomplete set of teeth, except where you see that there are similarly spires of stone replacing the teeth that are missing. And most visibly apparent is in the center of its chest is this amalgamation of, like, it's not one big like smooth there. It's like it's pitted and jagged, and like it bubbles up in places. There's an enormous crystal in the center of its chest. and where the crystal that you guys retrieved is one singular orb that like seems to almost glow with an inner light. It is dull almost entirely, some flickering pulsation in bits and pieces of this giant chunk of crystal in its chest. And while all of you are not surprised, I'd like you all to go ahead and roll initiative.
I'm gonna say, John, unless that's your cousin, we probably need to wake up the rest of the folks.
Which we'll go ahead and say y'all all awaken not only because of the effects of the whip of warning, but because you get a up close and right in your ears repeat of that snarling, unnatural, screeching howl that y'all had heard on the winds in Picton. It sounds kind of like a Wilhelm scream, apparently. A lot less intimidating that way.
It's the only like screeching out.
DM,
Nice.
real quick,
Sure.
since I only have to trance, and so technically, during this third watch, I'm just kind of like I'm not sleeping or anything, so I don't know if that affects anything aside from the fact that like
I mean, the thing is, y'all can't be surprised because of the whip of warning, so being asleep basically doesn't affect y'all's ability to roll into initiative,
okay.
which is wild. Very good uncommon item. So what's
Okay.
up?
No, I was just like making sure that it's like, you know, I would probably have all of my gear because, you know, if people are asleep, you know,
Right.
you've undone your gun belt or whatever. So this is me just like, I don't know if this helps at all, but I wasn't asleep.
Callie sleeps in her jeans, is what I mean.
Yes.
Type of person to sleep in your jeans. That's wild.
With her guns on.
Oof.
Out in the middle of the desert with critters? Hell yeah.
All right. But anyway,
Are we launching Tailspire?
no.
Okay, all right.
I would not just that. Thank goodness. But yeah, let's go ahead and get that initiative. 25 to 20.
21.
21.
21 as well.
Eh,
Who has the higher dex?
probably
Yep.
Clyde.
I have a 20 dex.
Yeah.
Okay, Clyde, Callie, got it. 2015.
Oof. Uh-oh.
1510.
11.
14.
13.
13. So I got a 14 for Belle. And I got a 13 that was for Geist. And an 11 for Alistair.
Yep.
All right, and what was Sarah Bell? What? You muted.
6.
6.
Rita rolled a 7 plus whatever.
She's a wizard, man. I'll say she's got like a +1 probably.
Yeah.
So she still manages to go before Sarah Bell.
Hey.
My next character is going to be dex based.
Hell yeah.
I will go ahead and tell you it doesn't make a difference. I still roll like garbage, and Genwin has a +8 to initiative, and I'm still like, I got a 12.
Yeah, that would have given me 13.
It helps. You'd be shocked how often you still go near the end. Anyway, that being said, it still goes first.
Oof.
It rolled real good. I rolled it when I rolled those percentiles earlier. So,
Cool.
hey guys,
Cool.
what's your AC?
Oh boy.
Counter spell.
Do you have cover?
Oh yeah,
This
I
thing is
forgot.
standing
Armor doesn't
over
matter.
him.
He's got
14.
covers.
Literal cover.
Oh boy.
When that DM
Also,
doesn't
while I
consider
roll these,
blanket cover.
can you also roll a d20 plus 3 for me? Tell me what the result is. Whoops. They want that D20.
Me or just someone?
You, specifically.
Plus 3, you said?
Uh-huh.
12.
12? Okay. Hold on to that for me. So, its first claw is a 23. The second
Okay.
claw is a crit.
Okay.
Counter spell.
I would like the world to know I rolled to see who it would be attacking, like who his initial target would be. So there's no bias here.
I'm just saying, considering the night's events, it may have like something kind of,
Who knows?
drew it
The
there.
first attack that was not the crit is 16 slashing damage. Sorry. And
Okay.
the second attack,
DM said, I don't like that big gun. We gotta get rid of
it
that
rolled
big
kind of
gun.
shit. So is a further 18 slashing damage.
16 you said for the first one?
16 and 18.
Oh, yeah, only 34 damage. You're fine.
That would one-shot me. That would one-shot me 100%.
This creature is scary.
no.
Those two hits. I'll say you're wide awake.
I bet you are now.
You were awake before. The problem was your eyes flew open as your dream ended, in like this like almost animalistic sense of I'm in danger as you came fully awake as this thing's claws came swiping down onto you.
You know what? That initial instinct was correct. He was in danger.
He was
Great
indeed
fucking
in
deal.
danger. But as you are awake, you see streaming out from around you this kind of greenish brown mist that gathers kind of up into the gym. Just to keep things above table, like out of character, clarified, your Cloak of Elven Kind is currently non-functional, magically. So, that ends its turn.
You can't do that. Take it back.
Why?
No, we don't like it.
It's Clyde's turn?
Yep.
Is it within line of sight of Clyde?
For sure. Y'all are all in camp. We're doing this theater of the mind. Y'all are all very much visible of each other.
Clyde would like to just do a full round of attacks. I mean, he doesn't really manifest an echo nearby this creature and just then kick it.
Roll them.
Does a 16 hit?
Yep.
Okay. So the first one's a 21, the second one's a 16.
Very nice.
Another 16, and then the claw does I'm assuming a 12 doesn't hit.
12 does not hit.
Okay, so the claw misses, so that's 3 hits. The first one is 13 damage.
Mhm.
Oh wow, the second one is almost minimum damage for 8 damage.
Okay.
And the third is 19 damage.
Very nice. And the claw? Or
The claw missed.
The claw was the 12, right?
Correct.
That's a lot. So as you're firing, you just come out of bed, like standing up, bang, bang, bang. Claw goes scraping across one of these sections of stone on its body, not being able to find purchase. The bullets striking home. You can see them not quite sinking in, similarly to when you shot the were-yotes earlier today. But still blasting. You do see it turns like almost into the bullets, turning to face you where you and Rita lay. Does that help for your turn?
Nah, I'm gonna jump 15 feet. Well, I guess I can't really jump 15 feet. Clyde will stand up.
Okay, so you're stood.
Yep.
All right. Ending your turn. Callie, you are similarly awakened. And I'm just going to say, because a gimme and because I think it's fun, you can smell almost like it comes across to you like the only way your brain can really process it is by a smell of overwhelmingly of that fiendish presence that you have caught whiffs of with your divine sense.
Cool. So I think that with that, it doesn't say, so I'm making the assumption that it's not an action, it's just something that I can do. I'm going to expel my channel divinity to use my vow of enmity so I can get advantage on my
that's
rolls.
your bonus action.
Is it it doesn't say. That's the
it is a bonus action. I'm
Okay.
relatively sure, but regardless.
Okay. I mean, if it is, it is. I'm not worried about it, but I would like to I think I like touch my holy symbol and sort of like throw up basically lights like lights that only I can see that mark it as my targeted enemy, so I get advantage on it, and I'm going to use my rifle, and I get to attack twice because we're level 5 now.
Correct.
So yeah, does an 18 hit?
An 18 does hit.
Great. I'm gonna throw a 2nd level smite on this bad boy.
Okay, can you separate those damages for me?
Yes, I can. Remind me how many D4s I get upcasting.
You get 1 additional D4 per level, and because this is a fiend, you're getting an additional D4.
Great. Okay.
So there'll be,
So-
if you're doing a 2nd level, that should be 4 D4 total.
Okay. Where are my D10s? Okay, so I have so good. Okay, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points of piercing damage, and
14,
then an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points of radiant damage on the first attack.
Very nice.
And then, so close to a natural 20. 16, 17, 18, 19, 22 to hit.
22 definitely hits.
Okay. And then nine points of piercing for that second one, and then I'm gonna do only a 1st level smite on
It'll
this
still be
one.
3d4 since it's a fiend.
Yep. Okay, not bad. 3, 6, 8 points of radiant.
Fantastic. Just two blasts from your rifle, just bam, bam, just exploding in this golden light as it had first wheeled around towards Clyde, and then as you shoot, instead of turning into it, it spins, kind of going with the bullet's momentum until it is facing you. Is that it for your turn?
Yes, that's all. If my actually,
It's bonus action.
yeah, that's it. I can't do anything else.
Okay, fantastic. Also, I don't know, quick clarifying thing, just in case anybody who's in here watching is confused. She's using D4s for her smites because I'm letting her smite with a ranged weapon. So we just nerfed it a little bit. Anyway, ending Callie's turn, that would bring us to Belle, but it's going to use a legendary action. So, nobody has moved. So I would like every single one of you to make a charisma saving throw for me.
Wait a second.
That's
Is
not
it a
good.
charmed condition?
No, it is not.
Okay. Just done.
Oh, I rolled good.
Is it magical sleep?
Oh, it's -1.
Yeah, is it a magical
It is
effect?
not a spell.
Or
This is a
poison.
supernatural magical effect, if you're using like old school terminology.
I rolled a 16 for a 15 total.
That's rough, my man. So fail.
22.
3.
22 success.
Oh,
3 fail.
I'm trying to see what disadvantage I'm getting is for. It says advantage against spells and other magical effects.
Oh, that's from your race, so you would still, if it says magical effects, you would still have advantage on it.
Oh, okay, cool.
22.
17.
22, success. What was, guys?
17.
Fail.
12.
12, fail. Okay, so we had our all but 2. I mean, hey, that's still pretty good. Visually, what this is the flickering light in this crystal. It seems to glow brightly for a moment as a wave exits out from this thing, going out in this area around it, passing over all of you. As it does, you feel this bitter cold chills you to the but not on your skin. This feels like your bones just got cold all of a sudden. Out, and then rapidly sucks back in. As it passes back out of you, you feel something deep inside, something is being pulled out. Good gracious, Callie and Alistair, you feel yourself able to fight that pull. The rest of you feel like something is ripped out of you. And I would like each of you to roll one of your hit dice and add your con mod and tell me the total.
4. No, I mean 6. Excuse me.
6.
Basic.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Only
Is it
what
a-
plus con mod?
One of your hit die.
Is it a D8 or a D10 for Artificer?
D8.
And then
Six.
con.
Rangers are D10.
Oh, 6.
7.
7.
3.
So it's 7, 6, 3. And what was Bell's?
6.
6 as well. Okay. Also, I would like you all to mark that hit die as expended. So, as it sucks back in, you just feel like something, like your very essence, your soul is being drawn out of you. And some of those bullet wounds, this blazing, this almost burn marks from the shots from Callie, some of them begin to close up. Belle, that brings us to you.
Okay, so she's gonna pull out both of her revolvers. And that took its toll because one is a 6 and one is an 11. I'm assuming she missed
Total?
on both.
Oof, that is unfortunate. Both of
Yeah, because it's just the D20. I don't get anything added to it, do I? Just the D20.
Well, it's your revolvers. This is your attack roll. So this is D20 plus your dex plus proficiency.
Oh, plus Dex plus. Okay, never mind. Okay, so let's say a 5 and 11. Excuse me. Plus, so 9. One's a 12 and one is 18, and one is an 18.
Okay, 18 does hit. The 12, unfortunately, you fire off that second shot, and it just, once again, like the bullet just skittering off of one of those sections of stone on its body.
So that means the damage on that one, and the one that hits. Sorry, I'm coughing over here. Okay, let's see. It is. So it's an 18 points of damage.
18. Very nice.
Yep. Okay. So,
And it was that, I forget, do you have 2 revolvers or just the one that you're shooting twice?
2.
2. So that means you should have one more attack. Because if you're, unless you didn't take a 5th level in Ranger, but you should have extra attack at level 5.
Oh, I do. Okay. Sorry, I was thinking that was the
Totally
thing.
fine.
So that one is going to be 17.
17 hits.
Oh yeah. Okay. And that'll be 12 points of damage.
12 points. Very nice. Okay. Those 3 shots, bang, 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 one ricocheting off a section of stone. It does not turn from facing Callie at this juncture.
And I'm gonna, for my bonus action, I'd like to cast a 2nd level Hail of Thorns for next time.
Okay, so you go ahead.
And
starting up that. Okay.
Go ahead and do that. And it's facing Callie. So
Mhm.
Callie, where are you around the fire to me?
This is relatively loose, so y'all are all within, I imagine, 15 to 20 feet of each other.
Yeah, it's like
That's up to
if
you guys.
anything, I always make camp next to you, so wherever that is, probably
That's
5-10
what I was
feet from
thinking.
you.
That we
Yeah.
would be like beside each other. So
Yeah.
then Belle will move to stand in front of her,
Okay.
and that's my turn.
It's gonna be it for your turn. Alrighty. It's gonna use another one of its legendary actions.
Sick.
Cheater.
That's the great thing about being a DM. You get to cheat. It's awesome. It is going to. I mean, I wrote out numbers for a lot of these, and I really shouldn't have for at least this first, since I knew it was going to be theater of the mind. It moves, and it is going to make a grapple at you, Belle. So I would like you to make a either acrobatics check or athletics check, whichever you prefer.
Does it move away from the echo?
It would have exited the echo space.
I'll give it a smack.
Surely,
Can you take an AOP if you're prone?
just at disadvantage.
Moves out of guy's space too.
It does move
Does-
out of guy's space. What was
Does
that?
Does 15 hit?
15 just hits.
Okay. Guys, I
My
think-
acrobatics check is 10.
Acrobatics is
Um,
10. Unfortunately, as you step in front of Callie as it does seem to start, and I was about to say that it lumbers. It does not. It almost like it dashes. It is fast, and it makes almost no sound as it goes to sprint towards Callie. You step in the way, it just reaches one of these clawed hands out and grabs you and lifts you like between 5 and 10 feet in the air with one hand.
Got Gus.
can-
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Can we make AOPs with firearms?
Has to be a melee weapon.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't think I can.
Hit it with
What
your.
was-
with your
Gotcha.
gun.
What was that damage with for the claw?
It is 6.
6? Okay. I would say you could make an AOP with it. As a club, it would be an improvised weapon, so strength, no proficiency. It would be a D4 if you hit. Everybody having fun yet?
Blows.
No.
Can Gus
My favorite.
attack when when the thing grabs me?
You have to use your bonus action to command him.
Shit, and I used it for.
I'll say that he would have, with how close together y'all were camped, he would have provoked an AOP from Gus, though, if you want to roll that.
Okay. So so that would have been a 17 to hit. Would that be
17 would hit, yeah.
okay? He didn't have room to charge, did he? Because the
No.
thing
Well,
came at
this
me,
is
and
a-
he would have
this
been
is
right
his
beside me.
AOP,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So yeah. So. Okay. 4 plus 2 is 6 plus 3, so 9 points of damage, or he mauled him.
Very nice. Okay. Ending its legendary action, ending Belle's action. That is now Geist.
Well, Geist is laying there, quite exposed, and by exposed I mean his intestines. It
Oh,
has
please.
moved away.
Yeah, it moved away
How
from you
far?
and has now probably like 15 feet. Has moved over, and you see it had been beelining to get towards Callie, but Belle stepped in the way and it just snatched her up into the air, like even before she settled her feet.
Is my rifle in range for grabbing?
I mean, that's entirely up to you. Where does he keep it?
Figure we keep it
That
too
is a
far. Oh yeah,
Geist
he's
question.
definitely got it. I didn't declare it, so I rolled percentage.
That's fine.
Save me,
y'all-
Professor.
Gonna make a. What are charm effects usually saved by? Wisdom or charisma?
Usually wisdom. but I mean, I'm not sure where we're going with this.
I was rolling for something.
He's gonna seduce it.
Yep.
Cringe.
It is kind of hot.
As kind of
Wait, nothing's.
he kind of goes from like asleep to shocked and in pain, and then kind of becoming cognizant that it has snatched up Callie.
Snatched up. It snatched up Belle. It was moving towards Callie.
Okay.
Belle like went to get in front of it, and instead of like barreling past her, it just grabbed her like as she stepped into the path. It was like grabbed her and is currently holding her up just in one of these big ass like long arms.
DM, if I wanted to roll to shoot its elbow, what would I be rolling to make it drop her?
I believe the way we have done called shots in the past, where they are at disadvantage with +5 to its AC.
I don't think I could fucking accomplish that.
You think you can, or you don't think you can?
I don't think I can. So we're just gonna go for big damage. Bonus action to shoulder it and take aim. Natural 20. With advantage from the thing. Oh yeah, we're definitely doing this. Kind of taking aim, eyes just going completely fucking black with orange dots right where his pupils will be. He is going to rasp out some kind of muttering in whatever languages you decided upon.
Is it undercommon?
I don't think that was one of the ones listed. There were 2 languages, Ian, and there were 3 options listed. So you just let me know which those are.
Is it Leonin or Sylvan?
Infernal or primordial?
I just want to stress the player choice in that matter, because a lot of those systems of belief have to do with what the believer thinks. It's not necessarily determined by the god. So even if what subconsciously Geist may believe about the entity.
58 points of damage. And he will be using one of his resources. Trying to remember the name of it. Favored foe. And as he uses that, the shot will not just be the kind of gunshot that it has been before, but smoky tendrils seem to like twist and follow the bullet when it fires, adding that extra oomph.
I'm gonna say, because this catches you off, this like you hit this thing square in a section of its back and kind of like rib cage area where it does not have this stone, like any of these stone outcroppings or anything, and this catches you off guard. Or it wouldn't have, except that you had fired this gun at a rock elemental. The shot you fire, as perfect as it is, does not do as much damage as you would have expected from such a shot.
Even considering that it is magical?
Correct. That is why I'm saying,
Roger.
if you had not used this against rock elemental, this wouldn't surprise you, but it does.
Who did? He shouts some more in the other language.
And then Guy's turn. Alistair.
Okay, Alistair is going to hop off of John's seat that he's prepared for him. I'm going to lean my head down, like, I don't know, close to where the hands are, because that seems like where John responds from. So I'm going to say, if you want a better life after her, you go and protect it now. And then I am going to move over to my cart. I'm going to use my bonus action to quicken spell detect thoughts on specifying the creature. And I'm going to use my action to delve down deeper into its thoughts.
Okay, that's a wisdom saving throw, correct?
Yeah, for the I will say this before you even roll against it. If the creature has an intelligence of 3 or lower, doesn't speak any language, or then the creature is unaffected.
Okay. So,
Wisdom 16
wisdom 16. It rolled a 7 on the d20, so it does not matter.
plus 40.
Well, yeah, but it has a plus 15, so it still succeeds. No, it does not. Even with it's a decent bonus, but not that good. So you're delving deeper. Do you get to choose what kind of information you're looking for?
So the surface thoughts are just whatever's initially on its mind. As an action, I can either shift my to another creature's touch or to attempt to probe deeper in the same creature's mind. If you probe deeper, makes a wisdom saving throw if it fails, you gain insight into its reasoning, if any, its emotional state, and something that looms large in its mind, such as something it worries over, loves, hates.
Okay. So initially it's surface thoughts. I'll say this, it's not entirely unexpected. This feels like one of the dreams on like steroids. As you first hear its surface thoughts of, give it to me, it's close, I want it, a hunger, just this barrage of screaming and screeching voices of, it's here. All of the just, kill them, take it, eat them, consume them. Ranging from fully focused on acquiring the crystal and in slaughtering all of you to get it. Just hundreds, if not thousands of voices all at once. Delving deeper. I'll say we'll start with the looming desire or love. And I'll say, since we're sticking to the theme of strong emotions, we're gonna circle in hate and loathing, and that all of these things are felt at the same time. Desire, love, devotion, hate, loathing, all of these things, need being very predominant, like above all of those like baser feelings and emotions in regards to the crystal.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think, because this thing is not a singular like thinking being. I mean, it's a singular physical creature, but the mind is not so simple. So you said like reasoning and what else?
It's reasoning, if any, its emotional state, and something that looms large in its mind.
Something that's like emotional state is like wildly cycling, like we said, between all those emotions regarding like that. Those are all of its current emotions, and like all directed towards the crystal. And I'll say for its reasoning, you almost get like a just barrage of images, starting from a singular person raising a rock and smashing someone's head in before rifling through their pockets and taking out a very, very similar gemstone, into attacking like a small group in the night in a desert, like raising a shaking hand with like tattered clothes before attacking, once again taking one of these gems. And just time after time, just this just quick flash of this increasingly growing less human looking creature that as at one point a person killing and taking these crystals. And on the last one, you can see where it is in this hunched form with like the amalgamation of crystal jutting from its chest, is it takes it and it sinks it, like it begins to push it against the larger crystal in its chest, and it almost melts into it with no resistance before pulsing, and that what was once that kind of flickering light becoming solid again.
That's a lot. There's some out of character things I'm wondering, but we're not worried about this right now. I'm running to my cart to Agatha to make sure she's okay. And
Okay.
also because that's where my weapons are. So that's, I'm going to use my movement to get over there. Who you're currently, Callie's currently snatched up by it, right?
Nope. Belle is snatched up by it.
Belle is.
Because Belle interposed herself between the creature and Callie.
Shit, I don't have any sort of messaging or anything. I'll just lock eyes with Callie. Callie say, "It's after your gift. I would run." That's my turn.
And your turn brings us to Rita. I'm be very honest with you. Rita is unarmed at this time, unless somebody has explicitly given her a gun. She has neither spellcasting focus nor has had the time to gather like implements.
Oh,
Remember, she gave away her wand.
right. I guess she could try and grab that staff if it's an actual foci. Or just grab the rifle and pew with it.
I think probably in like.
I don't think she'd want to use that staff anyway.
Yeah, the staff. I would assume. I assume Sarah Bell kept it on John, maybe, or maybe not. I don't know.
She would have kept it with her because she couldn't have left it on John with the prisoner.
That's fair.
Yeah.
She dives for the rifle and just takes it, and she can only fire once. Cracks off a shot. Holy shit, she hits.
Let's go.
A fucking
A mighty
17, a 17 on the D20.
A mighty 2d10 plus 1.
Yeah.
Rita's like, I have had enough
Shit.
shit
8,
in the last
13,
few weeks.
14 piercing damage on that one shot.
Nice.
This is why guns are so fucking scary, because they it does not matter. You just gotta roll high. That shot clipping into it, like hitting an elbow. But still, it seems focused. And it lifted Belle out of the way and isn't even looking at her. It is still just staring at Callie. Sarah Bell, that is now you.
Okay, question.
Yes, sir.
I want to hit both Geist and the creature and nobody else with Wither and Bloom. It's a 10-foot spear. You think I could do that?
The creature moved about 15 feet away from Geist, unfortunately. This is what we established earlier.
Well then, we're
push Geist. Shove him 5 feet.
Run over.
Yeah.
Push.
Get him done. It's for your own good. You know what?
See.
For the funsies, we'll rule of cool it. He's in range.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm gonna cast Wither and Bloom then.
Sick.
I obviously am going to hit Geist with all the damage and the creature with the healing.
What a Chad.
Yeah. So, Geist,
is there a save on that?
Yes, it's a Constitution saving throw. 16 for the DC. Geist, you can use 1 hit dice and regain that plus my spell casting modifier, which is +5.
It does unfortunately succeed. So does it still take half damage?
Yes.
What's that damage?
4 plus 4. So he gets 4 damage.
It's 4 damage. Every little bit. Alright, is that it for Cheryl's turn?
You just healed me for half of my total damage taken. Because I rolled max.
Nice.
Very nice. Does that consume a hit die?
Yes.
Yes.
So Geist is down to 3. Alright.
3?
Yeah. When you failed that save earlier, you gave the creature a hit die. You spent a hit die and healed the creature. Is how that worked.
I fucked up my math. I was like, well, that would leave me with 4. No, I was giving myself an extra level. Ignore
This dude is making himself level 6. SMA.
Well, if he's doing it, I'm doing it.
That's
Fireball.
crazy. I'm about to add an extra 0 or 2, and we'll see how that goes. We're at levels,
question.
okay. Anyway, bring us
Okay.
back to the top of the initiative. To its turn. One arm. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Did you have anything else you wanted to do?
Yeah. Well, it's a question. Just
Yeah.
how do I mark hit die on my
You just gotta mark it somewhere. I use my notes.
lame? Okay.
If you go to short rest, you can click them, I believe, on D&D Beyond.
Oh.
And
I've
mark them
never
as
utilized
spent.
that, so that's my bad.
Yep. So click on short
Yeah.
rest.
So I have to-
I don't know if it saves it if you do.
you have to hit take short rest, but if you uncheck everything, it doesn't affect anything. I think.
All right.
Okay.
So, anything else for you, for Cerebro?
Nope.
Nope. Bringing us to its turn. One hand held high, reaches, and it flings Bell through the air
Damn.
before turning and facing Callie, taking the one step to close the distance, looming over her and screeching out at her to give it to us as its other hand reaches towards because you keep the 10 on your person, right? Or you had it on you before previously.
Yeah, I have it in a pocket.
As it reaches towards that pocket, that's where we're gonna go ahead and end tonight's session.
No! I'm so scared.
What you scared about?
Oh, boy.
So, thank
I'm
you
scared about
guys
everything.
specifically for coming to play with me. I hope y'all had fun. I know I did. And for
Yeah.
those watching, I hope you also enjoyed yourselves. But we are Hard Knock Dice. This here is our Whispers in the Dust campaign, which we run most Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But on Saturdays, we have our other campaign, which is Across Eberron, which is DM'd by my boy. I think I'm pointing the right way, Alex. And that is at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's a whole lot of fun. It's much higher level. It is definitely worse than what is happening right now in this game. So you definitely see how that's going. It's good times.
It's a slice of life campaign.
Yeah, yes. You'll have to come and see. But anyway, also the link's still
Such
in
a
chat, so
tight-knit
go ahead and
group.
click on that link as the last shout out to doing, whoops, I'm pointing the wrong direction again. But Extra Life, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, help them kids, lawful kind of thing to do, heart wallets, open. But that with that, we are going to raid Zeal Zaddy. So give them all of your love and attention and appreciation as they are doing wonderful things, I am sure. And we will see y'all later. Bye.
Follow us on Instagram.
This fucking guitar has just got me feeling it.